Chapter 2182. Thank you, young Master Tian. Thank you for your trouble. Old Master, you said quickly. Your hidden house has contributed a lot to the Sky Elixir sect. We can't attack your enemies directly, but it's fine for us to give you some advice, Silkworm said. Lin Yi didn't know that he was being watched by the Sky Elixir sect. In the blink of an eye, it was time for school to end. Lin Yi, Xinyan, Han Jingjing, and Bai Weituo left the classroom together. Song Xiaodao, on the other hand, was alone. This guy had been acting mysteriously lately. It was said that he had his eyes on a girl from another school, and he'd be waiting at her school every day. Lin Yi sent Han Jingjing to the Jeep Cherokee and gave her the car keys and the notes Boss Bite gave him. He told her to wait for the Miss Shu and her brother in the car. Then, he went to the boxing club with Xinyan and Bai Weituo. The Audi Q7 was still parked in front of the boxing club's gym. Bai Weituo had He Meiwei, Chai Xiaoling, and Zhao Xingji wait there. In the afternoon, Zhao Xingji went to the school hospital for a checkup. Under the amazed gazes of the doctors, he went through the discharge procedures. The doctors were all secretly puzzled. Could it be that obese people had too much nutrition? Even broken bones could recover so quickly. What happened in the boxing club at noon wasn't known to the students in school, but everyone in the boxing club knew about it. Li Biaohan and Gao Lutang had told them to stay away from Lin Yi's group in the future, and not to provoke them. So, when Lin Yi's group arrived in front of the gym, the boxing club members all looked at Lin Yi in awe. Someone who could send Li Biaohan and Gao Lutang to the hospital was definitely not someone they could mess with. This boxing club sure is nice. There's a private parking lot in front of the door. Even our cars have to be parked in the parking lot in front of the school. It's so far from the biology building and dorms. Bai Weituo looked at the big P sign and the words Boxing Club Exclusive in front of the boxing club with envy. Then we'll stop here from now on. After Lin Yi said that, he pointed at the entrance of the boxing club not far away. It was the lackey who had tipped Gao Lutang off in the afternoon. You, come here for a moment. The little brother was about to go back to the dormitory. He didn't expect to run into Lin Yi as soon as he went out. He was shocked. He thought that Lin Yi was going to beat him up because of what happened at noon. He was a little scared. When he saw Lin Yi, his legs couldn't move. He asked with fear, "Brother, did you call me?" "Nonsense, does anyone else here know me?" Lin Yi said. "Yes. They all know you. Brother Biaohan and Brother Gao both told us not to provoke you." The underling said carefully. "Oh, your parking lot is pretty good. Help me tell Li Biaohan that I'm using it. Our car will be parked here from now on. There are still a few cars that need to be parked in a few days. Ask him to help me look after the cars. If the cars are scratched, ask him to compensate me." Lin Yi said. "This. Yes." The underling was cursing in his heart. "Aren't you a little too overbearing? Forget about using the parking lot. After all, this is also the school's territory. But you're still asking us to look after the cars. If the cars are scratched, you're still asking us to pay for it. Isn't this a little too much?" However, as a little brother, it wasn't appropriate for him to say much. After all, his two bosses were in the hospital. He didn't want to follow in their footsteps. He was just going to pass the message. Whether it was okay or not, it was up to his bosses to negotiate with Lin Yi. It had nothing to do with him. Not long after, Zhao Xingji, Chai Xiaoling, and He Meiwei arrived. Li Biaohan's Audi Q7 was a 7-seater version with high specs. It was more than enough to seat 6 people. Bai Weituo had booked a movie theater, so naturally, Bai Weituo drove to lead the way. This car is really cool to drive. It's much better than the cars in driving school. Bai Weitua said sincerely, boss is really amazing. Not only did you get a car, but now you even have a parking space and a little brother to look after the car. Alright, don't be so cocky. Drive your car properly. He Meiwa also heard about what happened at noon. She felt a little strange about Bai Weitua and the others getting a car for no reason. Lin Yi was actually so amazing. He was really hiding his strength. No wonder such a beautiful girl like Wang Xinyan was captured. Okay. Bai Weitua said quickly. Chapter 2183. He pushed the door open and pushed Bai Weitua. Do you know how to drive? Are you blind? Do you know whose car this is? I think you don't want to live anymore. I didn't do it on purpose. Plus, I was about to reverse and you stole my parking space. Otherwise, I wouldn't have hit you. Bai Weitua frowned. He felt wronged by the other party's overbearing attitude. Even if it was his fault for crashing the car, they might not be completely right? Stole parking space. This is a public parking space. Does it belong to you? It belongs to whoever came first. Come in first if you can. It's my fault that I hit you. The other party's owner pouted arrogantly. Fine, we'll take full responsibility. I'll call the insurance company to fix the car. Is that okay? Bai Weitua took full responsibility after all. He could only swallow his anger. Fix the car. Don't you see that the car is new? It hasn't been registered yet. Did you just get the car today? It's new and you want to fix it. Would you do it if it were you? The other party's owner glared. This. Then what do you want? Bai Weitua said helplessly. My Master Bing's car is new. It's 1.5 million. Take out 1.5 million and I'll sell it to you. The other party's owner said. Aren't you blackmailing me? Bai Weitua was stunned. He didn't expect the other party to make such a request. Blackmail. It's fine if you think so, but you have to take out the money. The other party's owner said arrogantly, no one has come out unscathed after crashing into Master Bing's car. In fact, the other party's owner was blackmailing him. The car's original price was only 1 million. 1.5 million was just a random price. Bai Weitua didn't expect the other party to be like this. If you're going to be so unreasonable, I'll call the police. Call the police, do what you want. But I'll remember your face. Don't think about staying in East Ocean City in the future. You still have your friends, TSK. The other party's owner said slowly. Lin Yi didn't want to get out of the car at first, but when he saw that Bai Weitua couldn't solve the problem and the driver was trying to blackmail him, Lin Yi knew that he had to get out of the car. Previously, in Lin Yi's opinion, this was just an ordinary traffic accident. He just needed to find the insurance company to repair the car, but he didn't expect so many troubles. You mean, you want us to buy this car? Lin Yi looked at the owner of the car and asked. In fact, the other party's request was not unreasonable, but the price of the Cayenne with this configuration was only about 1 million yuan. He was obviously blackmailing them by asking for 1.5 million yuan. That's right. 1,500,000, and we'll forget about today's matter. Otherwise, you'll be in for it. The owner of the car said arrogantly. However, when his gaze fell on Lin Yi, he let out a quack and was speechless. Lin Yi frowned, thinking that there must be something wrong with this person. Why was he so surprised? However, he heard the other party ask carefully, You? Why you? You're Lin Yi. You know me. Lin Yi looked at the person in front of him strangely. Lin Yi didn't know him at all. The driver cried bitterly in his heart after hearing the admittance. What bad luck, why did he have to blackmail this guy out of all the people he could have blackmailed? Lin Yi looked at the person in front of him. He didn't know him, but he raised his hand and knocked on the window of the Cayenne. You're just a driver. Tell your master to come down and talk to me. Let's see what we should do with this car. Zhao Qibing didn't want to interfere when he saw his underling acting tough outside, but when he saw a familiar silhouette coming down from the Audi Q7, he knew that something was wrong. He prayed that his follower would be smart enough to turn a big problem into a small one and leave quickly. He didn't want to argue with Lin Yi, but he didn't think that Lin Yi would knock on the window. Zhao Qibing had no choice but to get out of the car helplessly. He smiled and greeted Lin Yi. Hi, Zhao Qibing. Lin Yi didn't think that the person in the car would be Zhao Qibing. Although he heard the driver say something like, Master Bing, there were many people who called him Master Bing, so Lin Yi didn't think that it would be such a coincidence. The reason why Lin Yi knocked on the window was because the driver didn't mean anything. If Lin Yi wanted to talk, he would talk to the person in the car. Boss Lin Yi, this is actually a misunderstanding. Zhao Qibing glared at the driver. The driver was helpless. How would he know that Lin Yi was sitting in the Q7? If he knew, he wouldn't try to blackmail by Weiduo. He might even apologize and pay him some money. You want to sell this car to me, right? Lin Yi pointed at the Porsche Cayenne. Ugh. I'm just joking. Zhao Qibing's leg started hurting when he saw Lin Yi. He didn't know if he was suffering from rheumatism. I'm not joking with you. Give me the keys and the paperwork. I'll buy the car. Lin Yi said. Ugh. Boss Lin Yi, I'm just joking. Zhao Qibing was a little scared. If he sold the car to Lin Yi, what would happen to him? Didn't you hear what I said? Lin Yi looked at Zhao Qibing's legs. Your legs are itching again, aren't they? No. Zhao Qiningting, hurry up and give the keys and paperwork to Boss Lin Yi. Zhao Qibing had no choice but to order his chauffeur. As for what Lin Yi was going to do, he could only resign himself to fate. All right. The driver, Zhao Qiningyu, quickly took out the keys and paperwork, handing it to Lin Yi. I'll buy the car. I'll owe you the money first. I'll give it to you when I have the money. Lin Yi said. Right, you still owe me a few $100 million. Next time you pay me back, deduct this $1,500,000. Ugh. Zhao Qibing thought. As expected, he was up to no good. Buy a car. This was clearly a car robbery. But what could Zhao Qibing say? Even if Lin Yi took the car and broke his legs, he could only resign himself to fate. Zhao Qibing's legs had just healed. He wanted to come out for some fresh air and buy a car for his family. After getting the car, Zhao Qibing hadn't played with women for a long time. He didn't have the chance in the hidden manor, so he wanted to hit on a girl near the cinema. But the moment he parked the car, it was taken away. He didn't have the mood to hit on girls anymore. Why aren't you leaving? Is your leg broken? Lin Yi looked at Zhao Qibing. Go. Go, I'll leave now. Zhao Qibing's heart almost jumped out of his chest. He shivered when he heard Lin Yi mention his leg. Wait. Lin Yi stopped Zhao Qibing. Chapter 2184. Right, your house Zhao, that Zhao Qikuan who participated in the Ice Palace test with Yushan, why haven't I seen him in the last couple of days? Lin Yi asked. Lin Yi hadn't seen Qikuan at the Hidden House Summit, but he didn't want to expose his relationship with Qikuan. After that, Qikuan didn't contact Lin Yi, and this made Lin Yi very confused. Where did this guy go? So when he saw Zhao Qibing, he asked casually. Zhao Qikuan. Qibing's eyes flashed strangely at the name, but he still shook his head. I haven't seen him in a while. Lin Yi boss, are you looking for him? Just casually asking. This kid was with you Sean during the test, trying to screw me over. I was planning to teach him a lesson a couple of days ago, Lin Yi said. Oh. Qibing breathed in relief, as long as it wasn't trouble. I don't know, I'm not that close with him. Lin Yi's eyes were flickering as he looked at Qibing. He must be hiding something, but Lin Yi couldn't ask too much. Asking too much would make Qibing suspicious. The kid's IQ wasn't that high, but he wasn't an idiot. If that's the case, then it's fine. I was planning to ask him for some money. Lin Yi waved his hand, signaling Qibing to leave. Qibing quickly left after hearing that everything was fine. He was afraid that Lin Yi might think of something again if he stayed here any longer and break his legs. It wouldn't be worth it. For you, Lin Yi said as he gave the keys to Xinyan. Ah. Xinyan's eyes widened as she looked at the keys in Lin Yi's hand. For me. Yeah, your car's too small, and it's not convenient to drive it. It's more convenient to have a bigger car, Lin Yi said. He Meiwa looked at Xinyan, a flash of envy in her eyes. This Lin Yi was really something, getting 2 cars in one day, and he was very generous too, giving one to Bai Weituo and Zhao Xingji, and the other to Xinyan. Xinyan didn't know what to say. She didn't know if she should accept it or not. If she accepted it, then what would her relationship with Lin Yi be? Would she accept such an expensive gift? If she didn't accept it and rejected it, then Lin Yi would feel awkward in front of so many people. And so Xinyan hesitated. She knew that Lin Yi wouldn't care about a car, and she herself didn't care about a car like this. Her sports car wasn't any cheaper than this Porsche Cayenne. But if she accepted it, it would prove that she had an ambiguous relationship with Lin Yi. In fact, Lin Yi really didn't have any other intentions. He got angry when he saw Zhao Qibing. It was just a random car, but now that he had the car, he had no place to deal with it. The Miss and Shu had their own cars, and now in the garage of Lin Yi's villa, there was an Audi S5, a Land Rover 4, a Volkswagen Beetle, and now a Grand Cherokee. So Lin Yi and the Miss didn't lack cars, but the genius Han Jingjing had a BMW X5M, but she didn't even drive it, using the excuse of saving gas to ride with Lin Yi all the time. So Lin Yi really didn't know who to give the car to. Of course, Lin Yi wouldn't give it to He Meiwei or Chai Xiaoling for nothing. One car for Bai Weituo and Zhao Xingji was enough, and the only one left was Xinyan. All right. Xinyan hesitated for a while, but she still accepted the keys. So what if her relationship with Lin Yi wasn't clear? She was only engaged to Zhao Long, she wasn't his wife yet. She didn't have to care about what she did she? Why should she be careful? Xinyan, who had always been submissive, suddenly felt a little rebellious. From her point of view, her relationship with Lin Yi was already a little ambiguous, so one car wouldn't make a difference. During the military training, their relationship was even more ambiguous, and they sat together every day in school. If Xiaolong wanted to marry her, he'd marry her, and if he didn't, he'd break off the engagement. Xinyan, why do you look so reluctant? He Meiwei smiled. If you don't want it, Ling and I are waiting in line. Ha! Xinyan smiled calmly and put away the keys. Boss, you're too amazing. I've lived for so long, and this is the first time I've seen someone so amazing. You don't need to buy a car, and someone gave you a car, and 2 a day. Bai Weituo said sincerely. Let's go watch the movie, it's about to start, right? Lin Yi said. I knew it. Let's go. Bai Weituo looked at the time on his phone and shouted. Bai Weitua had bought a couple package online. It was a couple seat with 3 small partitions, and some popcorn, soda, and other things came with it. The entertainment places around the university city had group tickets online, and they catered to the students nearby. This movie theater was filled with students. The 6 of them entered the theater and found the seats according to the group ticket. Bai Weitua took the ticket and went to get his popcorn and other snacks. Xinyan looked at the dimly lit couple seats, blushing a little. This was the first time she went to a movie theater with a boy, and it was a couple seat too. She wasn't used to it. Sitting with Lin Yi wasn't a big deal. She'd sat with Lin Yi on the train, on the plane, in the exam hall, in the car, in the classroom, and even in the same tent during the military training. But those were group activities, and this time it was a little different. Xinyan felt a little awkward sitting in the seat, not knowing where to put her hands and feet. There was also a folding door in front of the seat that could be locked from the inside. It was a design that made people's imaginations run wild. Of course, it was not surprising to have such a design in the vicinity of the university town, where there were many universities. Most of the people who came here to watch movies were couples in love. If they did something out of line while watching the movie, it would affect others without concealment, and it would be easy to be seen. Therefore, this folding page was a humane design. If it were normal roommates watching a movie together, they could choose the non-couple seats in the front. But Lin Yi and Xinyan weren't a couple, and they became a couple because of Bai Weituo's group purchase. Actually, it's my first time watching a movie too. Lin Yi said with a smile after seeing Xinyan's unnatural expression. Ah. Xinyan paused. You and your girlfriend haven't been here before. Chapter 2185. Ah. What about you? Xinyan was amused by Lin Yi's words, and the atmosphere lightened up a little. She asked casually, regretting her question the moment she asked it. Why did she ask such a stupid question? Me. My intentions aren't pure. Lin Yi said with a smile. I'm not here to watch a movie, I just want to spend a little more time with you. Just a little more. The first half of Lin Yi's sentence startled Xinyan, but the second half made her relax a little. Was he just treating her as a tool? Was she a tool for him to use? Xinyan's heart skipped a beat when she heard the first half of Lin Yi's words. You don't have to come to the cinema, then. I'll study in the classroom after school, and you can leave a little later. Xinyan said. But watching a movie isn't a bad experience, I can't get too close to you in the classroom, but it's fine here. Lin Yi said. Ah. Xinyan's heart tightened again. Bai Weitua came back at that moment with a bunch of snacks in his hands. They were all free snacks from the coupons. He distributed them to Lin Yi, Zhao Xingji, and the others. Boss, Xinyan, what do you guys want to eat? Bai Weitua walked over with a bunch of popcorn and stuff. I don't like snacks, you guys. Xinyan said with a shake of her head. Ah. Not at all. Bai Weitua didn't think that there would be a girl who didn't like snacks. You're welcome. I'm not being courteous, I really don't like snacks. Xinyan smiled bitterly. I'll just get a box of chewing gum then, alright. Bai Weitua didn't really have a choice. What about you, Lin bro? I'm not eating either. Lin Yi wasn't too interested in snacks, and Xinyan wasn't eating anymore. How could he eat alone? Chapter 2186. It wasn't the first time she'd hugged him, they'd slept like this during military training. It wasn't a big deal, as long as Lin Yi didn't go too far with his hands and feet. She'd just treat it as a friendly hug. Plus, there'd been worse things that had happened during the training. Xinyan's fragile heart had been ravaged to a certain degree. Lin Yi was just hugging her, as expected, he didn't do anything out of line or out of line. Xinyan's tensed heart and stiff body relaxed a little, and she was getting used to it. So, it felt good to be hugged by a guy. Xinyan comforted herself. Marriage, reservations, and whatever kept Xinyan threw all that to the back of her mind. She sat there quietly, enjoying the peace. What was that saying again? Since she couldn't fight back, she might as well enjoy it in peace. Hey handsome, pretty girl. Wanna buy something? A sudden voice broke the silence, and Xinyan looked at the acne-faced guy who'd popped out of nowhere. She subconsciously moved to the side, trying to put some distance between her and Lin Yi. She felt like she'd been caught in the act. Lin Yi opened his eyes as well. He'd been training in the Jade space, but his consciousness was connected to the outside world. Lin Yi saw this guy's appearance as well. He'd thought it was someone from another booth who'd gone to the washroom, but it turned out to be a merchandiser. Nope. Lin Yi said straightforwardly. Don't be in such a hurry, handsome. Let's see. The acne-faced guy seemed to have expected Lin Yi's rejection, but he wasn't in a rush. He pulled out a couple of boxes from his backpack. Condoms, they're good to use. There's luminous ones, spiral ones, super thin ones, transparent ones, colorful ones. We don't want it. Just leave. Xinyan blushed as she watched the guy in front of her take out a bunch of condoms. We don't want it. Just leave, ugh. Don't be shy, pretty girl. These are the real deal, and the quality is top-notch. Lots of couples over there have bought them. The acne guy wasn't expecting Xinyan to flip out like that, but he still tried his best to sell it. Look, there's a lot of couples around here. You'll hear them if they start doing it later. It'd be bad if they get caught up in the heat of the moment, and someone gets killed because of it. I said I don't want it. Why are you like this? Xinyan was a little displeased. She was a girl, after all, and they weren't even a couple yet. It was awkward for her to be pushed around like this. Oh. I got it. The acne guy lowered his voice as if he'd figured something out. Bro, your girlfriend's so pissed off, are you okay with it? I still have Viagra here, it's super effective. Ahem. Lin Yi was quite troubled, but it wasn't worth it to beat him up. Lin Yi didn't want to waste time with him. He waved his hand and said, all right, I won't buy the medicine. I'll buy one of those condoms you sold earlier. One isn't enough. Bro, you're such a ferocious man. You should at least do it 7 times a night. The acne-faced guy said. Didn't you just say I couldn't do it? Lin Yi was speechless. I was joking. Bro, do you want to buy the combo? One of each, you'll get all kinds of enjoyment. The acne-faced guy took out a self-sealing bag. There was one of each type of condom. Alright, how much? Lin Yi asked. 100. The acne-faced guy said. You're quite a scammer. Lin Yi took out 100 kwai and sent the acne-faced guy away. As for the condoms, Lin Yi put it in his coat pocket. He's finally gone. Why did you buy that? Xinyan looked at Lin Yi, a little wary. Would he leave if I didn't buy it? Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If I don't buy it now, who knows what else he'll come up with. You're right. Xinyan realized that she'd misunderstood Lin Yi. She was a little embarrassed. Why don't we close this folding door? What if there's more to sell later? Sure. Lin Yi was thinking of doing that, but he didn't want Xinyan to think that he was up to no good. He didn't think that Xinyan would bring it up herself. Wang Xinyan was actually quite scared of that guy. Of all the things he could have sold, he had to sell condoms. What an embarrassing thing to do. Lin Yi closed the door casually, and the booth turned into a small private room. There was no light, and Xinyan couldn't help but jump in surprise at what she saw. Ah. Let's just think of it as military training in the tent. Lin Yi said. Yeah. Xinyan wasn't as nervous now that Lin Yi was saying she'd been alone with Lin Yi many times already, and there was no need to be on guard all the time. If Lin Yi wanted to do something, he'd have done it a long time ago. He wouldn't have waited until now. Ugh. Is it okay if I'm hugging you like this? Lin Yi realized that his left arm was still around Xinyan. Lin Yi had forgotten about that because of the acne-faced guy. You're still talking. Xinyan was a little embarrassed. If there's something, move it away. Yeah, I'll move it away in a bit. Lin Yi smiled. He could tell that Xinyan wasn't really angry. Humph, you're so annoying. You want a foot when you give me an inch. Xinyan humphed and closed her eyes, ignoring Lin Yi. Lin Yi smiled awkwardly as he closed his eyes and continued his training. Xinyan wasn't really annoyed, actually. If it weren't for Lin Yi mentioning it, she'd have gotten used to the feeling of Lin Yi hugging her, and even forgot that she was in Lin Yi's arms. It was a feeling she was used to and familiar with, and she didn't have much of a resistance against it. Xinyan actually fell asleep in a daze. Perhaps it was because she was too nervous today, or maybe it was because it was too easy to get sleepy in this environment. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was training, and she didn't have much of an interest in it. Xinyan fell asleep. But Lin Yi was shocked to realize that Xinyan's scent was the strongest when she was asleep, and it increased his training speed once more. It was a magical phenomenon that made Lin Yi feel like he couldn't stop it. Lin Yi was starting to miss the military training. It'd be great if he could hug Xinyan to sleep every night, but Lin Yi knew that wasn't realistic. Chapter 2187. Lin Yi had a good impression of Xinyan, but Lin Yi didn't know what to say. Xinyan might think that he was after her scent if he said it now, so Lin Yi might as well not say anything and let nature take its course. Plus, he wanted to find some time to ask Xiao Xiao about the main wife and second wife thing, because he always felt like he had a main wife. Could it be that he really didn't have one? The movie ended in a blink of an eye. But Lin Yi didn't stop. Lin Yi didn't want to give up this golden opportunity. If he accidentally woke Xinyan up, the effect would be greatly reduced. But Lin Yi didn't want to disturb them, and yet someone had interrupted them. Knock knock knock. There was a knock on the door, followed by Wei Tuo's loud voice. Big bro Lin, the movie's over, aren't you coming out? Lin Yi opened the door helplessly, and Wei Tuo and Zhao Xingji, on the other hand, stuck their heads into the room curiously. Yawn. Xinyan, who was in Lin Yi's arms, was woken up as well. She stretched and rubbed her eyes sleepily. Is the movie over? There's something going on. Wei Tuo looked at Xinyan in Lin Yi's arms, a strange smile on his face. Boss, you can't deny it now, can you? You're hugging each other to sleep. Yeah, I wonder if you did anything to waste your energy before. How could you fall asleep watching a movie otherwise? Zhao Xingji had a suggestive smile on his face as well. Nothing like that. Lin Yi smiled faintly and let go of Xinyan. The movie's so boring, we were all asleep. Boring. It was really good. He Meiwei looked at Lin Yi and Xinyan mischievously. Xinyan, do you deny it this time? Deny what? Xinyan was a little embarrassed. Deny your relationship with Lin Yi. He Meiwei said. We're good friends. Xinyan blushed. Can good friends hug and sleep together? He Meiwei asked back. We always slept together during military training, it's not a big deal. Xinyan wanted to explain, but realized that she'd let it slip. He Meiwei and Xiaoling's eyes went wide, and Wei Tuo and Zhao Xingji understood. So there was an affair all along. That's not right, you were hiding it all along. Himei said. Alright, the movie's over. Let's go back early. Lin Yi said faintly, not answering. By Weitua, Himei and the others didn't think too much about it. They walked out of the cinema and went to the parking lot. Only then did they remember that they had 2 cars now. Xinyan, you take one and Bai Weitua the other. Lin Yi said. Yeah. Xinyan nodded. And so, Lin Yi, Zhao Xingji, and Bai Weitua took one car, while Xinyan, Chai Xiaoling, and Himei took the other. The 2 cars headed to school together. Boss, you're not a good friend. You don't want to admit it. Bai Weitua said after getting in the car. Heh, let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you guys. How is it? Have you made any progress? Asked Lin Yi. Me? Don't even mention it. I won't even let you touch my hand. Bai Weitua sighed. Looks like I need to continue working hard. Hee, I've made some progress. Chai Xiaoling let me kiss her. Of course, it's nothing compared to boss. Zhao Xingji said. Me and Wang Xinyan. Lin Yi wanted to say that there really wasn't anything going on between them, but decided against it. Forget it, let's not talk about that. Lin Yi got out of the car at the school gate. Lin Yi didn't live in the dorm, so he walked from the school gate to the Shuashang district. It wasn't far from here. When he got home, Meng Yao and Yushu were watching TV in the living room, while Grandma's son was cleaning the house. Mr. Lin, you're back. I'm going to do some laundry. Do you want your jacket washed? Grandma's son asked. Sure. Lin Yi took off his jacket and handed it to Grandma's son. Lin Yi changed into his home clothes, and Grandma's son took out everything from Lin Yi's jacket. She put it on the coffee table and went to the laundry room. Ha! What's this? Yushu looked at the bag of colorful stuff Grandma's son took out from Lin Yi's pocket. Is it edible? What? Meng Yao took a closer look at the item, speechless. Lin Yi had bought this. Super thin. Luminous. Screw. What the hell is this? Yushu looked at the stuff in her hands curiously. Finally, she saw some words on a small package. Super smooth. Pfft, hey no, Shield Bro and Wong Fox did it. It can't be that fast, right? Meng Yao didn't think that Lin Yi was someone like that. Xiao Xiao, Tang Yun, and Lin Yi hadn't even gotten to that point yet. Wang Xinyan, who was just his classmate, had done it. Was that even possible? So it's premeditated. Yushu said. Then you can ask him later. Meng Yao was curious as well. Why did Lin Yi buy this stuff? She didn't want to ask, so she gave the task to Shu. Ah, okay. Yushu nodded. After a while, Lin Yi changed into his home clothes and walked out of the room. He looked at the miss and Shu strangely. Lin Yi looked at his clothes curiously as well. The buttons weren't in the wrong places, were they? What are you guys looking at? Lin Yi asked. Shield Bro, Yao Yao told me to ask you, what are these condoms for? Do you want to do it with me and Yao Yao in the middle of the night? Yushu raised the bag in her hands. Fuck. Meng Yao slapped the back of Yushu's head. Shu, what are you talking about? Why did I tell you to ask? You were the one who said it, let me ask later. Yushu held her head, feeling wronged. Genius Shu got hit silly. I didn't tell you to say the second half. Meng Yao said. Oh, Shu added it herself. Yushu said. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he looked at the 2 clowns in front of him. That thing you're talking about was promoted by someone in the theater. He wouldn't stop if I didn't buy it, so I bought it and gave it to you guys. We don't want it. Meng Yao didn't suspect anything after hearing Lin Yi's explanation. You can fill it with water and use it as a water balloon. Yushu said. Why don't you use it as a balloon? Meng Yao glared at Yushu. It's already big, you don't know if it's good or bad. Chapter 2188. Yushu said as she opened the bag and took one out, I like this luminous one, it's pretty flashy. Yao Yao sis, what about you? Piss off. Meng Yao stood up and went upstairs to sleep. Oh, I'm sorry, Yao Yao sis. Yushu gave the bag back to Lin Yi. I'll let you keep it, I'm going to sleep too. Lin Yi went back to his room and threw the bag into the drawer. He sat on his bed and closed his eyes. However, his speed was clearly much slower than before, and could not be mentioned in the same breath. Lin Yi wanted to visit Han Jingjing and talk to her about alchemy, but it was getting late, so Lin Yi decided to talk to her tomorrow. The night went by uneventfully, and the next morning, Han Jingjing yawned as she came for breakfast, but she came a lot earlier than usual. Evidently, she knew that Lin Yi was back and wanted to discuss alchemy with Lin Yi. Lin Yi was also looking for her, so he pulled Han Jingjing into his room before Grandma's son finished cooking. Lin Yi bro, I stayed up all night to study the notes you gave me, and although there are some things that I can learn from, there aren't many. It's not as useful as the notes you gave me, Han Jingjing said. I've finished scanning, I'll give it back to you later. And the information I gave you before is basically the best. Lin Yi said, don't let anyone see it, and don't mention it, especially right coiling tiger. Jing Jing knows, Jing Jing isn't an idiot, I won't say anything. Han Jingjing nodded. Right, I've asked White Boss about the multiple materials, and this is what he said. With that, Lin Yi told Han Jingjing about White Boss's explanation. I see. Han Jingjing nodded. Jingjing, after a few days, I'm going to gather some ingredients for a second-grade pill and try to refine it. Oh right, here's a small qi gathering pill, take it. After you take it, you'll be able to advance to the early phase of the Earth class. It'll be very beneficial for your alchemy. Lin Yi said as he handed a small qi gathering pill to Han Jingjing. Of the 3 small qi gathering pills, one was for Han Jingjing, and one was for Lin Yi to give to the Purple Lightning Tempest Beast. As for the last one, he had not decided who to give it to. Alright. Han Jingjing took the small qi gathering pill and swallowed it without hesitation. She began to circulate her inner force mantra to dissolve the effects of the pill. A pill master's mantra was indeed different from other mantras. Han Jingjing had taken a small qi gathering pill to forcibly increase her strength to break through to Earth stage, but it wasn't as painful as Han Xiaope had been. It was as if everything was natural. However, just as Han Jingjing was about to break through, someone knocked on Lin Yi's door. Mr. Lin, dinner's ready. You can eat now. Grandma's son's voice rang out. Grandma's son, wait a moment. You guys eat first. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing. Han Jingjing was on the verge of a breakthrough. Although it was easier for a pill master to break through than a normal person, Lin Yi didn't dare leave. He had to do it for Han Jingjing. If something happened to Han Jingjing, Lin Yi would regret it. To Lin Yi, Han Jingjing was a big treasure. She was a mobile cauldron, after all. If something happened, Lin Yi wouldn't even be able to find a place to cry. Grandma's son didn't think much of Lin Yi's words, but Meng Yao and Yushu were curious. What were Lin Yi and Han Jingjing doing in his room? They weren't even eating breakfast. Yao Yao, what do you think Shield Bro and Dumb Jing are doing in the room? Yushu said as she looked at Lin Yi's room. She wanted to barge in. Let's get down to business, Meng Yao said faintly. Say, can we try the condoms from yesterday? Yushu asked. Shoo, I think your thoughts are getting more and more complicated, Meng Yao said. Who did you learn it from? Yao Yao, Yushu said. Are you looking for a beating? Meng Yao was pissed. You are marked by the company you keep. I'm with Yao Yao every day. Yushu said. Then why didn't I become as dumb as you? Meng Yao asked. Shu is not dumb either. Yushu said. Just when Meng Yao and Yushu were arguing, Lin Yi's door was finally pushed open. Han Jingjing was sweating, but her face was glowing. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was calm. Their expressions made Yushu suspicious. Shield bro, what were you doing with Han Jingjing just now? Yushu asked. Breakthrough, Lin Yi said. Ah. You guys broke through that level of relationship. Yushu's mouth was wide open. She didn't think that she was right. What relationship? Lin Yi was confused. Han Jingjing broke through to Earth class early phase. Ah. Oh. It's nothing, Yushu closed her mouth. Come eat breakfast, I left some for you guys. Meng Yao glared at Yushu. This girl was always messing around. After breakfast, the four of them drove to school. In the car, Lin Yi called Xiao Qikuan, but his phone was turned off. This made Lin Yi's heart sink. Thinking back to Zhao Qibing's expression last night and the fact that Qikuan didn't show up at the Hidden House Summit, Lin Yi had a bad feeling. Did something happen to his follower? But in the Hidden House, the only people close to Lin Yi were him and Zhao Qizhou. If Lin Yi asked others, it would undoubtedly expose their relationship, and if something really happened to Zhao Qikuan, it would only make things worse. So Lin Yi couldn't ask the Hidden House directly. He could only place his hopes on Xiao Xiao of the Ice Palace, hoping that she would be able to get some information from Qizhou. Perhaps Qizhou might know something. But Lin Yi didn't know Xiao Xiao's contact information, so he turned to Meng Yao and Yushu. Did Xiao Xiao contact you guys? Do you have her contact information? Ah. Xiao Xiao, we did contact her, but we don't have her contact information. Meng Yao didn't know why Lin Yi would suddenly ask about Xiao Xiao. Then it's fine. It seemed that Lin Yi could only write a message to Bing Shui Town and ask Manager Li to pass it to Xiao Xiao. This was the only contact information Lin Yi had with Xiao Xiao. Chapter 2189. Looking at the caller ID, it was Sun Jingyi this time. Lin Yi picked up the phone. Jingyi. Great thief, I've confirmed the location of Wulonghout mountain range. Do you want to go with me? Sun Jingyi's words were filled with joy. Perhaps this trip to Wulonghout could reveal some of her parents' secrets. Naturally, she was very happy. You've confirmed it. How about this, I'll go find you at noon. We'll talk when we meet. Lin Yi said. Sun Jingyi. Meng Yao frowned after Lin Yi hung up. You're going to find her. Yeah, I promised her that I'll go with her to find the mystery of her birth parents. Lin Yi said. Oh. Meng Yao replied faintly, not too happy about it. Shield bro, Yao Yao sis is angry. Do you like Wang Xinyan or Sun Jingyi? You can't always be two-timing, can you? Why don't you choose Han Jingjing? Yushu asked for Meng Yao. What do I have to do with Jing Jing? Han Jingjing blushed. I'm just learning alchemy from Lin Yi bro. I need something called pure topaz, and it just so happens that Sun Jingyi has a piece of it. It's something her parents left for her. Lin Yi had no choice but to explain bitterly. Sun Jingyi gave this piece of jade to me, but by some coincidence, I found an incomplete map in this pure topaz. Lin Yi didn't tell Meng Yao and the others in detail, but since they asked, Lin Yi didn't hide it. The people in the car were all people that Lin Yi trusted. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't hide it. So that's how it is. She's even willing to give you her parents' belongings. Don't let her down. Meng Yao sighed. It seemed that Sun Jingyi really treated Lin Yi well. This was a headache. Xiao Xiao only had one target for the main wife. Wang Xinyan and Han Jingjing were competing, and now there was this Sun Jingyi. It didn't look like it was going to be easy. It's just that she's a girl. It's not convenient for her to go to the mountains alone. I'm just accompanying her. Lin Yi said, it's not as complicated as you say. The group arrived at the school. At the same time, in the hidden Zhao family in the East Sea. Elder Yu and Elder Zhao had a huge argument and parted on bad terms. Elder Zhao told the truth, stating that Yu Huixing was the one who gave the qi-gathering pill to House Zhao, but Elder Zhao was still the one in the wrong in this matter. Even if Yu Huixing had taken the initiative to give it to him, the hidden Zhao family shouldn't have kept it a secret. After all, such a treasure was an enormous treasure that was extremely rare and hard to come by. Furthermore, the two families were in-laws. Logically speaking, Elder Zhao should have told Elder Yu about it at least. No matter how one looked at it, it didn't make sense to keep everything to oneself. However, this qi-amassing pill was personally given to the hidden Zhao family by Yu Huixing. Hence, Elder Yu wanted to reason with him. But he couldn't find a suitable reason. He didn't want to waste any more words. The two families parted on bad terms. Zhao Qibing had just bought a car as a reward for his hard work during this period of time. After the Hidden House Summit, he wanted to relax, but he didn't expect Lin Yi to steal his car. He returned to the hidden house with a belly full of anger. But Zhao Qibing didn't dare hide it. He told Elder Bai and Elder Zhao everything about Lin Yi. After all, Lin Yi was the public enemy of House Zhao, and he couldn't hide anything from Lin Yi. This Lin Yi is too much. Elder Bai humphed coldly after hearing the words. He was famous for being protective of his own people. Once he recognized Zhao Qibing as his disciple, he would naturally protect him. Even if it was the children of House Zhao who caused trouble first, he would still blame it on Lin Yi. You can't blame Lin Yi for this, it's just Qibing's bad luck, running into him. Any other hidden house's child would probably end up the same if they ran into Lin Yi. Elder Zhao waved his hand and said faintly, even the fire wolves can't do anything in front of Lin Yi. Don't look at how arrogant they are in front of us. That's true, something big happened to the fire wolves a while ago, and although they didn't say anything, there was news that Lin Yi broke Jiang Wen's leg in front of an Earth-class late-phase peak protector from the fire wolves, and even scammed him for a huge amount of money. Elder Bai nodded, Qibing, so it's not like you're losing face. Of course, if they knew that the fire wolves had lost another 2 million and a car, they'd feel even better. Right, but Lin Yi asked me something. Qibing said, Lin Yi asked me about Zhao Qikuan, and although he said that Zhao Qikuan was his enemy, and that he didn't see Zhao Qikuan at the meeting, I feel like he's lying to me, as expected. Elder Zhao nodded. If Lin Yi hadn't asked, I wouldn't have been sure if that Zhao Qikuan was telling Lin Yi, but Lin Yi's question confirmed it. That's right, Zhao Qikuan is a traitor, and if he gets close to Lin Yi, he'll be a huge problem for House Zhao when he grows up. Elder Bai said. Yeah, if Zhao Qikuan really was Lin Yi's enemy, would Lin Yi be so free to ask him? Qibing said, Lin Yi isn't someone with that much free time, he's just a small character. There were so many people in the Ice Palace trial, and he asked Zhao Qikuan, that means something. Elder Bai, what do you think? Elder Zhao sighed. Qikuan is a disciple of House Zhao, after all, and although he might be friends with Lin Yi, he didn't admit it himself, and we can't force him. Head, I have a good idea. Elder Bai said after a sigh. Oh. What idea? Elder Zhao asked. After a while, it'll be the test of the Sky Elixir School. At that time, we can let Zhao Qikuan join the test, whether he admits it or not. We can just let him join the test, that's the best way to solve this problem once and for all. Elder Bai said. The Sky Elixir Sex Trial. Elder Zhao's face changed. He knew about it, but compared to the Ice Palace trial, the rewards were much better, but it was also much more dangerous. And so, many hidden houses would rather participate in the Ice Palace trial than the Sky Elixir one. Chapter 2190. Of course, there were those who were lucky enough to complete the mission and come back with great rewards from Sky Elixir. Third level elixir. They could choose any third level elixir from the Sky Elixir sect. This reward was enough to make all the noble houses go crazy, but it was too dangerous. They couldn't just send their core disciples to the test, and if they died, they'd lose everything, not even the elixir. After all, the number of people who could get elixirs was very few, and so all these years, the disciples who went to the Sky Elixir sect were either the bastard children of the house, afraid that they'd threaten the position of the head of the house, or they weren't of the same surname. If they died, then so be it. But if they succeeded, they'd get a lot of glory and rewards. Since we've already chosen Zhao Qibing to be the next head of the house, if Qikuan is still here, he'll always be a problem. Elder Bai said. Alright, I'll find a chance to talk to Qikuan. Old Zhao sighed. Qikuan was his grandson, after all. He didn't have high hopes for him, but he didn't want anything to happen to him. If it weren't for Qikuan telling Lin Yi about the Hidden House Summit, old Zhao wouldn't have made the decision to send him away. Actually, you don't have to be troubled, head of the house. A while ago, we talked about this Sky Elixir test, and Qikuan was actually quite enthusiastic about it. Elder Bai said faintly. He knows his position in the house, and he knows that if he wants to get promoted, he has to keep making contributions. So we're sending him to the test, and that's what he wants. Alright. Old Zhao finally made up his mind. Qikuan was very troubled. He didn't think that he'd be caught red-handed by Qibing just calling Lin Yi. There was no way he could defend himself from the call records. What reason did he have to call Lin Yi? Qikuan didn't think that even if he made up a story, Elder Bai and old Zhao would see through it. And so Qikuan felt that he was very unlucky. He had been hiding House Zhao. If he wanted to have a say in House Zhao, he had to find another way. In this hidden house meeting, he secretly saw that Lin Yi was representing House Han, and he wanted to tell Lin Yi that Zhao Qibing's car was modified. But before they could spread the news, Qibing and Elder Bai caught them in the act. And so, Qikuan was locked up. He was worried, but there was nothing he could do. All of his communication devices had been taken away, so it was impossible to contact him even if he wanted to. Lin Yi saw Xinyan's Porsche Cayenne in the parking lot when he arrived at school. The damage was still there, and it seemed that Xinyan hadn't had time to get it fixed. However, Bai Weituo's Audi Q7 didn't stop there. Lin Yi guessed that he might have heard it from downstairs of the boxing club. He walked with Han Jingjing to the biology department's teaching building. Similarly, just like last time, he was stopped by Right Coiling Tiger, Yellow Hair, and Purple Hair on the way. I say, Right Coiling Tiger, why are you doing this again? What do you want this time? Lin Yi could guess what Right Coiling Tiger was thinking, but he didn't show it on his face. Ha, Lin Yi, I have something to say to you. Actually, I want to make a deal with you. You know what I mean. Some things can't be said in the classroom. If Boss Bai hears it, it won't be good for either of us. Right Coiling Tiger said. What? You're not thinking about that information again, are you? Lin Yi smiled coldly. There's no way I'm going to trade with you this time, don't even think about it. Don't. Let's talk. Right Coiling Tiger saw that Lin Yi was so determined. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that this was the real deal. Otherwise, Lin Yi wouldn't be so determined. He'd be playing hard to get. I don't have anything good to say to you. Lin Yi said indifferently. Lin Yi, there's a good saying. In this world, there's nothing that can't be bought, it just depends on whether you have enough chips. Right Coiling Tiger said, even if you don't want to listen to my chips, don't be in such a hurry to reject me. Not interested. After saying that, Lin Yi pushed Right Coiling Tiger away and was about to leave with Han Jingjing. Ha! Wait! Right Coiling Tiger panicked, 5 second-grade pills, how about it? Is that enough chips? No. Lin Yi said. Lin Yi, don't be so ungrateful. I already know that you aren't an elixir refiner at all. You must be in urgent need of elixirs. 5 second-level elixirs, think about it, it's priceless. Pan Hu said. Are you retarded? If I lacked pills, I had plenty of chances to exchange for them during the Hidden House Summit. Why wouldn't I? Lin Yi asked. Didn't you purposely make me raise the conditions of the competition to create the illusion that you're an alchemist? Right Coiling Tiger said. You're thinking too much. Lin Yi said indifferently, I've won so many competitions, one more doesn't matter. Plus, I didn't even win. Don't you want the lesser chi gathering pills? How about 5 small chi gathering pills? Right Coiling Tiger said, it can let the people around you break through to Earth class. That's my bottom line. 5 lesser chi gathering pills, what's the difference between 5 second-grade pills and 5 second-grade pills? Lin Yi looked at Right Coiling Tiger mockingly, alright, stop playing word games. I don't have time, I'm going to school. You can play by yourself. After Lin Yi said that, he left with Han Jingjing, leaving Right Coiling Tiger to complain angrily, fuck, not even 5 second-grade pills. Young Master Right, Lin Yi didn't hold back this time, nor did he pretend. I'm guessing that the information in his hands is very important. Otherwise, he wouldn't not be tempted. After all, if he shows us the information, we'll get 5 lesser chi gathering pills for nothing. Yellow Hair said. That's right. I think Lin Yi thinks that we don't have enough chips. Purple Hair also said. I'll discuss it with Uncle again. Right Coiling Tiger had no choice but to take out his phone and call his uncle, hidden in the right house. After Kong Ming Ming left, Right Jintian carefully walked into the secret room where the sky silkworm transformation was located with an antique medicinal cauldron. Right Jintian greets young Master Tian. Right Jintian respectfully bowed to the sky silkworm transformation, then carefully said to Old Man Yu, Father, I've brought that treasure. All right, young Master Tian and 5th Elder, please take a look and see what this medicinal cauldron is. Old Man Yu nodded. Chapter 2191. Oh. This medicine cauldron looks a little special. Silkworm Transformation's eyes lit up slightly as he took the medicine cauldron and examined it carefully. However, as he examined it, he frowned. After a while, he said in disappointment, this medicine cauldron is damaged. 5th Uncle, what do you think? Young Sect Master said that it is damaged. Naturally, it can't be wrong. The 5th Elder took the medicine cauldron from Silkworm Transformation's hands and examined it carefully for a long time before returning it to Yu Jintian. This medicine cauldron is a good medicine cauldron. It should be an item from the ancient times or even the primordial times, but it has cracks and is damaged. It can't be used for alchemy, then. Can't it be repaired? Yu Jintian was a little disappointed when he heard Silkworm Transformation and the 5th Elder's evaluation. No. 5th Elder shook his head and said, now that the way of forging has been lost, this is also the reason why our Heavenly Elixir sect can make 1st grade and 2nd grade medicine cauldrons but not 3rd grade medicine cauldrons. But can't it be repaired even if it can't be forged? Yu Jintian asked. Repairing? Repairing isn't easier than forging. The 5th Elder said, legend has it that one needs to have the 3 attributes of metal, fire, and wood in order to learn blacksmithing. As for blacksmithing, one needs to have both the metal and wood attributes at the same time. The path of blacksmithing has been passed down in the world, but there is only the path of blacksmithing. There is no matching mental cultivation method. Metal restrains wood, so ordinary mental cultivation methods cannot be practiced at the same time. Therefore, this medicine cauldron of yours is actually of no value. In terms of value, it can only be regarded as an ornamental object. I see. Enchanting felt a heartache. He had bought this thing from an antique collector at a high price. Because that person was a collector and did not easily sell his collection, Enchanting had spent dozens of times more than the market price to buy this medicine cauldron. He had also paid a lot of other prices. In the end, it was just an ornamental object, which made him regret it. If he had known this would happen, he would not have spent so much money to buy it. Enchanting did not have a hobby of collecting antiques. Moreover, even if he did collect antiques, wouldn't he be stupid to buy antiques at this price? He had a good plan previously. He wanted to give this thing to Silkworm Transformation to gain a good impression for the Yu family. But now it seemed that the Heavenly Elixir sect didn't want it at all. Enchanting, I appreciate your kindness. I won't mistreat you for working so hard for our Heavenly Elixir sect. Silkworm Transformation naturally understood Enchanting's thoughts and comforted him. Thank you, young sect master Tian. Enchanting was delighted when he heard Heavenly Silkworm Transformation's affirmation. Alright, Enchanting. You can leave first. Old Master Yu was also a little disappointed. Although he got a verbal affirmation of the Sky Silkworm Transformation, this thing was not taken seriously by others. The Yu family bought a piece of junk at a high price, which made him a little depressed. Yes. Enchanting turned around and retreated. Just as he walked out of the secret room, his phone rang. Enchanting picked up the phone and saw that it was Yu Panhu, so he quickly picked up the phone. Hello. Coiling Tiger, how is it? Did you get it? Eldest uncle. This time, that Lin Yi seems to be very vigilant. I offered him 5 second-grade elixirs, and they were all small chi-gathering elixirs, but he didn't want them all. He turned around and left. Yu Panhu said with a bitter smile. Oh. What does he mean? Does he think that the chips are too little, or he doesn't want to exchange with you at all? Enchanting asked. He doesn't really want to exchange, but since he showed it to others and I forced him, he should be able to exchange. Moreover, when I mentioned the chips, he also stopped in his tracks. After listening to me, he refused. Right, Coiling Tiger said. In that case, it must be that the chips we offered are not enough. Enchanting pondered for a moment and said, how about this, you give him another supreme-grade ancient medicine cauldron and see if he wants to exchange. Supreme-grade ancient medicine cauldron. Do we have such things in our family? Even if we do, we can't exchange it with Lin Yi. Yu Panhu said subconsciously after being stunned for a moment. Of course we do. Do you remember the medicine cauldron I bought from an antique collector previously? Enchanting said as he raised the medicine cauldron in his hand. Oh, I remember, but that medicine cauldron, didn't you say that it was to be given to the people above us? Yu Panhu didn't directly say the name of the Heavenly Elixir sect. After all, he was in school, so it was better to avoid it. Sigh. Enchanting sighed and said, that medicine cauldron is a good thing, but the Heavenly Elixir sect can't repair it. Therefore, that medicine cauldron is like a waste and can only be used as an ornament. It can't be, right? Yu Panhu pondered for a moment and said, all right, then give it to me. I'll bluff Lin Yi. That fool doesn't seem to know much about alchemy, let alone having any great knowledge. Maybe he thinks that he can repair it, so he can get a bargain. And, that's what I mean. That Lin Yi naturally doesn't have the knowledge of the Heavenly Elixir sect. You can bluff him and exchange this medicine cauldron for something useful to our family. Enchanting said, the alchemist's notes are more useful than this medicine cauldron. I understand. How about this, uncle, take a picture of the medicine cauldron and send it to me. Lin Yi is someone who won't release the eagle without seeing the rabbit. Even if I tell him without telling him, he might not believe me, Yu Panhu said. Alright, I'll send it to you now. Enchanting nodded and said. Lin Yi and Han Jingjing came to the classroom. Seeing that Yu Panhu didn't follow, Han Jingjing said, Brother Lin Yi, can't you return this information to Yu Panhu and exchange it for something good? Yes, but the things he gave are too little, and they aren't of much use to us, Lin Yi said. I already have 3 small chi-gathering pills. Any more is useless. Then, can I ask him for some materials to refine second-grade elixirs? Han Jingjing hesitated and said, although Jingjing's family is also doing business and has some connections with medicine, ordinary medicinal materials can be purchased, but the medicinal materials for second-grade medicinal pills are not easy to collect. Okay, what materials do you want? You make a list, I'll ask him for it. Lin Yi nodded and said. Really? Brother Lin Yi, you are so good to Jingjing. Han Jingjing was a little excited after listening. She was worried about finding the refining materials for second-grade medicinal pills, and Yu Panhu came to her door. Chapter 2192. She didn't know how much this moving furnace was worth. If the ancient sects found it, they'd probably treat it like a treasure. Yes, then I'll work hard and try not to waste materials this time. Han Jingjing nodded. Xinyan had already arrived at the classroom, and she blushed when she saw Lin Yi walking over. What happened last night was too ambiguous, and she didn't have a chance to talk to Lin Yi after leaving the theater. She was interrogated by He Meiyue and the others when she got back to the dorm, and she didn't know if she should explain or not. In the end, she had no choice but to acquiesce to her relationship with Lin Yi. The key was that she had to acquiesce, and He Meiyue wouldn't believe her even if she didn't acquiesce, and she kept asking questions. In the end, Xinyan could only acquiesce. Morning, Lin Yi greeted Xinyan with a smile. Yeah. Xinyan nodded. Sorry for the trouble yesterday, Lin Yi said softly after sitting down. It's not really troublesome, they've thought that way since the beginning. Take by Wei Tuo for example, it doesn't matter if I explain or not, they'll still call me sis-in-law. What's the point? Xinyan smiled bitterly. That's true, then let's ignore them. I'm just worried that you'll feel burdened. Lin Yi saw that Xinyan didn't have any special reaction, and he let out a sigh of relief. He was afraid that Xinyan would feel uncomfortable. What burdens can I have? It's fine as long as the two of us know what's going on. Xinyan shrugged. As for what other people think, I don't care. It's too tiring to live for others. Actually, I didn't mean to take advantage of you yesterday. It's just that it's faster to train with you in my arms, Lin Yi explained. Yeah. I know, Xinyan said. She didn't know, but she trusted Lin Yi. Lin Yi wanted to say something, but coiling tiger right, yellow hair, and purple hair walked into the classroom, walking towards Lin Yi. Lin Yi, let's talk. You coiling tiger walked over, casually pulled out a chair, and sat down on the aisle beside Lin Yi. What's there to talk about? Lin Yi asked back, don't you just want to see the information in my hands? Heh, not bad. Since you know my purpose, then I won't beat around the bush. Lin Yi, what do I have to do for you to exchange with me? Right, coiling tiger wasn't afraid that Lin Yi would expose his purpose. He was afraid that Lin Yi would beat around the bush. I don't want to change, Lin Yi said. You don't want to trade. Coiling tiger right paused, thinking that there was a way. Not wanting to trade and not wanting to trade were two completely different concepts. Not wanting to trade meant that Lin Yi didn't want to, but it wasn't impossible to change his mind. Lin Yi, do you think that my bargaining chip doesn't meet your bottom line? Let's not play Tai Chi, just tell me the truth. What are your conditions? Me? What conditions do I have? You're the one who wants to trade with me, I don't want to trade. Lin Yi looked at Coiling Tiger right, a little mocking. Since you're not playing games with me, why don't you tell me what you're offering? Let me see, if I'm interested, then I'll trade. If not, then forget it. All right. Right, Coiling Tiger nodded. He'd already gotten to this point, and he'd gotten a clear answer. He didn't need to hide anymore, and said his bottom line, the 5 second-level elixirs from before remain the same, and I'll add an ancient medicine cauldron as well. An ancient medicine cauldron. Lin Yi was a little shocked after listening to Coiling Tiger Right's words. An ancient medicine cauldron, would he use it to exchange for an alchemist's notes? Was there something wrong with his head? If such a good thing existed, it would be a family heirloom. How could he exchange it with others so casually? Yes, but I know you may not believe it, but I have a photo here. I can show it to you first. If you agree, I'll have someone send it over immediately. Coiling Tiger Right nodded and said. Coiling Tiger Right, it's not that I don't believe you, but you have to at least give me a reason to believe you, right? An ancient medicine cauldron, if your head isn't filled with water, would you use such a good thing to exchange for my alchemist's notes? Lin Yi looked at Coiling Tiger Right like he was looking at an idiot. How credible do you think your words are? Even if you say it, do you believe it? It's undeniable that this alchemist's notes have some value, but compared with an ancient medicine cauldron, it's a world of difference. You wouldn't use a fake to fool me, right? How could it be? Coiling Tiger Right was a little embarrassed after listening to Lin Yi's words. He originally wanted to brag about this medicine cauldron again to highlight how good this medicine cauldron was, but he neglected one point. The bargaining chip he took out this time was obviously not equal to the value of the alchemist's notes, so Lin Yi had doubts. It's not really a fake, right? Lin Yi looked at Coiling Tiger Right's awkward expression and asked coldly, if you're making fun of me, then you can get lost. Cough. Coiling Tiger Right coughed and laughed dryly. Actually, you're not wrong. If it's an ancient medicine cauldron without any problems, don't mention me exchanging it with you, I don't even have the qualifications to touch it. Then what do you mean? Lin Yi asked. To tell you the truth, this medicine cauldron is indeed an ancient medicine cauldron, but it has a crack, which means it's broken. Coiling Tiger Right said, however, if you have the means, you can try to repair it. If you can repair it, then its value can be as high as a city. If it could be repaired, would it be my turn? Lin Yi listened to Coiling Tiger Right's words and fell into deep thought. Previously, when he was hiding in the Han family, he obtained the remnant of the tool-mending scroll. However, these 2 days, Lin Yi had more things to do, so he didn't have the time to carefully study it. But if he could thoroughly study it, could he repair this damaged medicine cauldron? Under normal circumstances, it can't be repaired, but Lin Yi, you're so powerful, maybe you can repair it by chance. Coiling Tiger Right simply said, this thing is a good thing, but if anyone can repair it, do you think I'll still exchange it with you? What you said sounds like a human, Lin Yi said. Coiling Tiger Right was a little speechless. So what I said before was not a human. Chapter 2193. Ugh, you can't say that. Aren't we talking about the terms of the exchange? Yupon who said, the deal is a two-way deal. If you don't think it's possible, you can put forward your request. I just stated my bottom line. You tell me your bottom line. Let's combine it. Isn't it fine? Okay. Lin Yi nodded and said, since you want to exchange so much, I will tell you my bottom line. Jingjing, give me the list. Okay, Brother Lin Yi. Han Jingjing had already listed the refining materials she needed. Lin Yi took Han Jingjing's list and glanced at it. It was the refining materials for 3 kinds of second-grade medicinal pills, including the small qi-gathering pill. Lin Yi marked a number on the list, then handed it to Yu Panhu and said, the refining materials for 3 kinds of second-grade medicinal pills, 5 of each. Plus the medicinal cauldron you mentioned just now, this is my bottom line. Ugh, 5 of each. Isn't that 15 sets of second-grade medicinal pills materials equivalent to 15 second-grade medicinal pills? Yu Panhu was shocked and asked. Are you stupid or don't you know how to calculate? Your family's 15 sets of second-grade medicinal pills materials are equivalent to 15 second-grade medicinal pills? Lin Yi rolled his eyes. 15 portions of ingredients for a second-level elixir. Can you make 15 second-level elixirs? This. Yu Panhu thought about it. It was also true. Even if Old Master Yu made a move, it was impossible to refine 15 second-grade medicinal pills with 15 sets of second-grade medicinal pills materials. It was already very high to have a 1/3 success rate. After all, Old Master Yu was only a second-grade alchemist, and the success rate was 20 to 30%. Thinking of this, Lin Yi's request was not increased, but lowered a lot. This made Yu Panhu a little puzzled. Are you sure this is your bottom line? Yes. Lin Yi said, you'd better not play any tricks. If I didn't need some second-grade medicinal pills materials for experiments, I would be too lazy to exchange with you. Okay. I'll contact the family and have them send these materials and the cauldron over. After figuring out the value of these second-grade elixir materials, Right Coiling Tiger immediately made a decision. This was something that he could decide. Okay, send me the picture of the cauldron to study first, Lin Yi said. No problem. Right Coiling Tiger readily agreed. After sending a text message to Lin Yi, he said, since the deal has been reached, should I take a look at the alchemist's notes first? Do you think I'll show it to you? Lin Yi asked. Let's talk about it after we exchange. Panhu Right also felt that Lin Yi definitely wouldn't let him see it. What if he didn't give him anything after he saw it? Then why are you still sitting here? Boss Bai is here. Do you want to be scolded? Lin Yi asked. I'm leaving now. Right Coiling Tiger thought that Lin Yi was afraid. He was afraid that Boss Bai would know that he had exchanged information privately. Therefore, in Right Coiling Tiger's opinion, if Lin Yi dared to play tricks, then he would go to Boss Bai to report what Lin Yi had done. After Right Coiling Tiger left, Lin Yi turned on his phone and studied the top-grade medicinal cauldron from the ancient times that Right Coiling Tiger mentioned. The medicinal cauldron in the picture did look antique, but it could also be seen from the picture that the medicinal cauldron was very broken. Even though this was the best angle, the person who took the picture had tried his best to choose the most complete side of the medicinal cauldron. However, even so, this medicinal cauldron was still broken. There were dense cracks on it. At first glance, it was obvious that it was an ornamental object that couldn't be used for alchemy. Of course, in the hands of others, it was an ornamental object, but in the hands of Lin Yi, it might not be so. Lin Yi had a remnant scroll on the path of artifact mending. Perhaps he could find a way to repair this top-grade medicinal cauldron from it, therefore, Lin Yi exchanged it back and studied it. Perhaps he could gain something. Even if he couldn't repair it, the 15 portions of second-grade elixir materials were worth it. Han Jingjing needed second-grade elixir materials to experiment. Right Coiling Tiger happened to be worried about what others were thinking. He was really too considerate. However, this medicinal cauldron gave Lin Yi a somewhat familiar feeling. Lin Yi seemed to have seen this medicinal cauldron somewhere before, but he didn't seem to have much of an impression of it. After thinking for a while, Lin Yi didn't have much of an impression. Instead, Boss Bai came. For the entire morning, Lin Yi calmly spent his time cultivating and listening to lectures. At noon, Lin Yi promised Sun Jingyi that he would look for her. When he left the classroom, he was stopped by Right Coiling Tiger. Lin Yi, wait a minute. Right Coiling Tiger had already told his uncle, Right Jintian, about Lin Yi's conditions in the morning. Right Jintian almost didn't think about it and agreed to Lin Yi's request. In his eyes, the value of 15 portions of second-grade elixir materials was about the same as 5 second-grade elixir materials. Lin Yi's request was not considered a request at all. After Right Jintian prepared these things, he sent a core disciple of the Yu family, Right Ten, to deliver these things to Right Coiling Tiger. Oh, it seems that you have prepared all the things I want. Lin Yi saw the bag in Right Coiling Tiger's hand and asked faintly. Yes, I have prepared the things. Right Coiling Tiger said, it's here. Lin Yi, can we exchange the materials this time? Don't worry. I haven't inspected the goods yet. Lin Yi said unhurriedly, it just so happens that I haven't eaten at noon. You can treat me. Right Coiling Tiger was a little speechless, but who asked him to beg Lin Yi? So he nodded and said, where do we go to eat? I have no problem treating you, but let's confirm the transaction first. Go to the Shueshang Business Hotel. I will naturally trade with you when we get there, said Lin Yi. Okay. Right Coiling Tiger had no choice but to follow Lin Yi to the parking lot and get in Lin Yi's Grand Cherokee. Along the way, Right Coiling Tiger wanted to speak several times but stopped himself. However, when he saw Lin Yi's calm look, he knew that Lin Yi probably wouldn't care about him even if he said it. It couldn't be helped. Right Coiling Tiger couldn't wait to put the package in his hand on the table when they arrived at the Shueshang Business Hotel. Lin Yi, can we trade now? His only purpose of coming here was to trade with Lin Yi. As for eating at the same table with Lin Yi, he didn't have that kind of leisure. Wait, I haven't ordered yet. Lin Yi waved his hand, called the waiter, and brought the menu. It was a special meal. Right Coiling Tiger was a little speechless, but he still waited patiently for Lin Yi to finish ordering. Then, he said, is it okay now? Chapter 2194. Right Coiling Tiger took out a credit card helplessly and handed it to the waiter. Pay the bill first. I'll swipe my card. Okay, sir. The waiter took the POS machine and swiped the card for Right Coiling Tiger. Then, he went out to prepare the dishes. Lin Yi, are you done? If you don't want to exchange, just say it. You don't have to find so many excuses. Right Coiling Tiger was really impatient. If you regret it, just say it. Oh, you really guessed it. I did regret it. Lin Yi nodded and said. Damn. Right Coiling Tiger almost jumped. What do you want? Why did you regret it? Actually, I regret it because of you, said Lin Yi. Because of me? What do you mean? Asked Right Coiling Tiger. Last time, I exchanged information with you, and then you took it to heart. You kept saying that I cheated you, so I was thinking, after exchanging with you this time, would you do the same? Lin Yi said with a straight face. So after a whole morning of serious consideration, I've decided not to trade with you. Fuck, are you playing with me? Right Coiling Tiger was so depressed that he almost lost his temper, but he suddenly remembered that the person in front of him was Lin Yi. He was not allowed to lose his temper. If he lost his temper and got beaten up, he wouldn't be able to find a place to reason. He could only swallow his anger and say, a man can't go back on his words. You still don't understand. I'm thinking for you. I'm afraid that you will regret it when the time comes. Then, you will become a eunuch, said Lin Yi. I'll become a eunuch. How did I become a eunuch? Right Coiling Tiger was stunned. Didn't you say that a man can't go back on his words? I'm afraid that when the time comes, you won't be a man. Lin Yi explained. Alright, Lin Yi, don't say these useless things. You don't have to think about me. I'm willing to exchange information with you. I won't go back on my word. Don't worry. Right Coiling Tiger said, is that okay now? Well, since you're so sincere, I'll trade with you. Lin Yi nodded and said, open the package, I want to inspect the goods. If I let you inspect the goods, you should also let me inspect the goods, right? Right Coiling Tiger had an idea and said. Lin Yi rolled his eyes. Right Coiling Tiger, are you trying to challenge our intelligence? I've already shown you my information. What value does it have? You won't lose anything even if I see your things. Alright, take a look then. Right Coiling Tiger didn't waste any more words. He opened the package and presented the item to Lin Yi. He just wanted to end this deal as soon as possible. He opened the package, and an antique cauldron appeared in front of Lin Yi. However, after seeing the real thing, Lin Yi realized that this cauldron was even more broken than he'd imagined. The picture on the right side of the cauldron was only the front of the cauldron. Even though the front of the cauldron was densely covered with cracks, the back of the cauldron was a huge crack from top to bottom. It was not an exaggeration to say that it was too horrible to look at. This thing was real. With Lin Yi's eyes, he could tell that it was an antique. When he went with Ling Shan to rob the tomb, Lin Yi had learned a lot about antiques. However, from the looks of it, this thing couldn't be used to make pills. It was leaking all over the place, and it couldn't even be used to brew medicine. This thing is more broken than I imagined. Lin Yi sighed. Lin Yi, don't say that. If it was something good, would I trade it with you? It's this kind of useless stuff that our hidden house you would trade with. Right Coiling Tiger said. You've already agreed. Don't go back on your word. I didn't go back on my word. Look at how scared you are. Lin Yi put down the cauldron and said faintly. He began to check the materials for the level 2 pills. Humph. Right Coiling Tiger snorted and ignored Lin Yi. He quietly waited for Lin Yi's inspection results. Not bad. It's not bad. With that, Lin Yi tied the package and put it beside him. He then threw a document to Right Coiling Tiger. This is what you need. Hee hee. When Right Coiling Tiger saw that Lin Yi was finally willing to let go, he was overjoyed. He took the document and looked at it carefully. Right Coiling Tiger was an alchemist. Although his rank was relatively low, he was only a level 1 alchemist. However, he had seen and heard since he was a child. He knew a lot about alchemy. Although he hadn't dabbled in those advanced alchemy techniques, he could still distinguish the quality of the information at a glance. Just looking at one page, Right Coiling Tiger's face became dignified. This information was indeed good stuff. This time, Lin Yi didn't lie to him. Fortunately, Right Coiling Tiger also breathed a sigh of relief. When he looked at the back, he nodded even more. Some of the views and techniques described in this information, Right Coiling Tiger also heard Old Master Yu mention some of them when he taught the younger generation, so this information should be true without a doubt. It was impossible for Lin Yi to fool him. After looking at a few more pages, the things inside made Right Coiling Tiger feel refreshed. Before, Old Master Yu only talked about some basic experiences of alchemy, and the later records were some of the experiences and essentials of a level 1 alchemist. Right Coiling Tiger was amazed. Many things that he couldn't figure out, and he didn't have time to ask Old Master Yu about, could be explained and answered here. Seeing this, Right Coiling Tiger no longer had any doubts. He nodded heavily and said, Lin Yi, this time you are quite honest. You didn't deceive me with simple things. Oh, you got the thing. You can get out now. Go make a copy and return the original version directly to Han Jingjing. Lin Yi was secretly surprised. Didn't Boss Bai say that this was the alchemist's notes of the Heavenly Elixir sect? It stands to reason that the right family should have it hidden. Why does Right Coiling Tiger look like he got a treasure? Get out. Aren't you going to eat? After Right Coiling Tiger got the good stuff, his appetite was very good. He was really a little hungry. I won't eat with you. I called you here to pay the bill. Lin Yi said, of course, you can stay here. After I eat, I may need to exercise. I lack a sandbag. Are you willing to be my sandbag? Chapter 2195. After Right Coiling Tiger left, Lin Yi leisurely picked up his phone and dialed Sun Jingyi's number. As for Right Coiling Tiger's reaction after getting the alchemist's notes, although Lin Yi was confused, he wasn't too worried. Boss Bai wouldn't lie to him, and he also said that he would cooperate with him to act, which meant that the information wasn't the most important to Boss Bai. Lin Yi was already satisfied to be able to exchange the information for the things he had gotten so far. Although the materials for second-grade pills could be obtained through Boss Bai, if Lin Yi asked for it, Boss Bai would definitely get to the bottom of it, and then Lin Yi wouldn't be able to hide the fact that Han Jingjing was an alchemist. Lin Yi didn't want to lie to Boss Bai, but he also didn't want to expose Han Jingjing too early, so Lin Yi could only start with Right Coiling Tiger. At the very least, even if Right Coiling Tiger was confused, he knew that even if he asked, Lin Yi wouldn't tell him, so he might as well not ask, in case he asked for trouble. Sun Jingyi didn't expect Lin Yi to actually order a banquet in the private room downstairs, so she quickly dressed up and went downstairs. At this time, the waiter had basically served all the dishes, and Sun Jingyi could eat when she arrived. No way. Great thief, even if you're good to me, you don't have to order so many dishes. How can the two of us eat it all? Sun Jingyi looked at the dishes on the table and was very happy. Someone's treating, it'll be a waste not to eat, Lin Yi said. Someone's treating again this time. Sun Jingyi was a little surprised. Where's the person? Scram, Lin Yi said. Ha! Sun Jingyi was dazed. Scram. What do you mean? It means scram, Lin Yi said. After paying the bill, it's none of his business. Gosh. Sun Jingyi was a little speechless. There's actually such a kind person. Yeah, this idiot always gives me good stuff. Lin Yi smiled and said, let's not study him anymore, let's eat first. N. Sun Jingyi nodded, picked up the chopsticks, and put a small bite of food into her mouth. Recently, Sun Jingyi was less mature than the previous company owner, and more lazy and charming. Although she was at most 1 year older than Lin Yi, maybe because of her experience in society, she was more mature than Shu and the others. You said you'll accompany me to explore the map my parents left me, right? Of course. Lin Yi nodded without hesitation. His relationship with Sun Jingyi was very good. Putting aside the previous identity of half a lover, just the fact that Sun Jingyi gave the jade pendant left by her parents to Lin Yi as material was enough to move Lin Yi. Hee, it seems that you still have a little awareness of being a lover. You won't let me take the risk alone. Sun Jingyi listened to Lin Yi's affirmative answer and smiled happily. Awareness of what? I only have a title as a lover. There are no practical benefits at all. Lin Yi smiled and said, to put it bluntly, isn't it just free labor? That's not necessarily the case. Now, it's a trial period for you. When I'm happy, I might let you be my lover. Sun Jingyi said, I'm not engaged now. My family won't interfere with what I do. As she said this, Sun Jingyi blinked at Lin Yi. Are you seducing me? Lin Yi looked at the current Sun Jingyi. It was difficult to put her with the image of the female white-collar worker. The current Sun Jingyi was much cuter. I guess so. How about it? Do you accept the seduction? Asked Sun Jingyi. Accept it. Lin Yi nodded and said. After that, both of them laughed. The dialogue style of Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi could only be understood by the two parties involved. They also knew that it was just a joke. Right, I found the specific location of the Wulongheot mountain range. It is located outside the southern border. The environment there is very complicated. I heard that it is very dangerous. After Sun Jingyi joked, she said seriously, there were several expeditions on the internet that went to the Wulongheot mountain range to explore. Most of the people were wiped out. Only a few people survived. However, according to the survivors, it is very dangerous. Not only is there a natural moat, but there are also some monsters. Moreover, the local customs are very tough. In short, the survivors were scared and said that they would never go there to explore again in their lives. Oh? According to what you said, it seems to be full of danger. Lin Yi listened to Sun Jingyi's explanation and was a little surprised. If this is the case, why did your parents leave this map to you? I don't know. Maybe the more dangerous the place, the safer it is. If there are some things hidden there, it is not easy to be found. Sun Jingyi said, this is the only reason I can think of. After all, this is the truth. After those expeditions had an accident, no other expeditions went to that mountain range. Over time, it became a forbidden place for explorers. Perhaps that's the only explanation. Lin Yi nodded after listening to it. How is it? Are you afraid? Asked Sun Jingyi. I'm not afraid. The key is you. Lin Yi was a little speechless. Even if it was a moat with dangerous monsters, it was nothing compared to the tomb robbing and the ice palace trial. No matter how dangerous the moat was, could it be more terrifying than the secret passage in the ancient tomb? No matter how powerful the monster was, could it be more powerful than the purple electric beast? Didn't Lin Yi solve all of these? I'm really a little scared. Sun Jingyi didn't hide it. If you didn't promise to accompany me, I can't imagine not making up my mind to explore it. After all, I'm not a practitioner like you. My things are a little special. If it's just the moat and monsters, then don't worry. It's not a problem. I can handle it, Lin Yi said. That's good. I was thinking the same thing. You're in Earth class now, and those people in the expedition team are just normal people. There's no way we can compare them. Jingyi said. Hopefully, we'll be able to find our destination without a hitch. When do we leave? Lin Yi asked. I can leave any time. Sun Jingyi said, I don't have anything to do with the company now. All I do every day is look up information in the hotel. There's nothing else to do. Now that I have the information, we can leave immediately. Alright, I'll go back and make some arrangements. Lin Yi said, you know, I need to make arrangements for Meng Yao and Yushu's safety. Chapter 2196. They wouldn't dare to do anything to him, but he wasn't afraid that they would send people after Meng Yao and Yushu. Han Xiaopa said that the sky-class masters of the hidden houses were restricted by the ancient rules, and couldn't enter the common world easily. So, Lin Yi wasn't worried at all. With the purple thunderbolt beast protecting Meng Yao and Yushu, there shouldn't be any problems. Even if a sky-class master came, the purple thunderbolt beast would be able to deal with them. Sky-class masters wouldn't come. Those sky-class masters weren't idiots. Taking such a huge risk to enter the common world and not go after Lin Yi, but Meng Yao and Yushu? Weren't they crazy? Even if they killed Meng Yao and Yushu, the hatred in their hearts wouldn't lessen. Right, Wu Qintian contacted me last night. He wanted to call you, but he couldn't get through, so he called me instead. Sun Jingyi said he can come to Donghai anytime, and asked if you need his help. Last night? Lin Yi thought about it. It was probably because he was in the cinema last night, and the signal wasn't good, so Qintian couldn't get through. Coincidentally, Lin Yi was looking for him, and there was a qi gathering pill that Lin Yi wanted to give to Qintian. Among the people around Lin Yi, Qintian was the only one who had the time to protect Meng Yao and Yushu at all times. Plus, he had been a bodyguard before, so it was a walk in the park for him. Plus, using this qi gathering pill on Qintian was the most worth it right now. Qintian was a practitioner of both spiritual and physical arts, and he was stronger than normal spiritual and physical practitioners. Giving him a boost was also the most beneficial thing. Yeah, what, you don't think he's still interested in me, do you? Sun Jingyi saw Lin Yi's expression and misunderstood. Of course not, Lin Yi smiled, he's going to be in Earth class soon, so he probably won't be interested in you anymore. Lin Yi, do you want to die? So you're saying that you have very low standards? Jingyi was pissed. I'm just kidding. I was wondering why I couldn't get through to you yesterday. Lin Yi said, I went to the cinema yesterday. The signal there was bad. Cinema? A date? Jingyi asked. It's not really a date, Lin Yi evidently didn't want to talk about this topic, I'll call Wu Qintian. Okay. Sun Jingyi was very smart. Since Lin Yi didn't want to talk about it, she didn't ask anymore. Just as Sun Jingyi said, Qintian was ready and waiting for orders, ready to come as soon as Lin Yi called. And so, Lin Yi made an appointment with Qintian, telling him to come over right now and meet him at the villa in the Shueshang district. After settling the matter of leaving with Sun Jingyi, Lin Yi took the cauldron and the ingredients for the second-level elixir back to school. And now, Lin Yi was thinking whether or not to level up the purple thunderbolt beast. The situation was clear. The reason why the purple thunderbolt beast followed him was because he could bring it benefits. In other words, it was a deal. Its situation was different from General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig. General Weiwu was originally an animal that accompanied Miss through life and death. It was willing to sacrifice itself to save Mississippi. This relationship was enough to prove its loyalty. So, Lin Yi didn't hesitate to help it level up. Skybolt Pig, on the other hand, was Zhang Liju's spirit beast. Lin Yi inherited Zhang Liju's legacy, so Skybolt Pig had no choice but to follow Lin Yi. It could either stay in the tomb or follow Zhang Liju's disciple. But the purple thunderbolt beast was the spirit beast of the Qianshan sect. It turned to Lin Yi halfway through, so it was hard for Lin Yi to guarantee its loyalty. If it just left after leveling up, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to defeat it and wouldn't be able to do anything to it. It seemed like he had to think about this carefully. When he went back at night, he had to communicate with the purple thunderbolt beast. When he returned to the classroom, Lin Yi saw Yu Panhu sitting in the classroom with a smile on his face. He was talking to Yellow and Purple. When he saw Lin Yi walk in, he smiled at Lin Yi for the first time. He had already asked Yu Shishir to send the copied information back to the hidden house Yu, and he kept an extra copy for himself. After this information was sent back, he probably wouldn't be able to see it anymore. The hidden house Yu's library wasn't something an elixir refiner of his level could casually read. So, Yu Panhu kept a copy for himself. This was also in preparation for him to enter the hidden house Yu's elder council smoothly in the future. Lin Yi looked at Yu Panhu's expression and was even more confused. Could it be that the hidden house Yu really didn't have this information? Otherwise, why would Yu Panhu be so happy? But even if that was the case, Lin Yi didn't have any regrets. Yuponhu's sacrifice in exchange for a copy of the information was worth it. Lin Yi returned to his seat. Han Jingjing was still writing and drawing on the tablet. When she saw Lin Yi, she said happily, "Lin Yi bro, I got a lot of inspiration from this information. Now, I have more confidence in making second-level elixirs." "Really? That's great." Lin Yi was a little numb to Han Jingjing's genius. He handed all the materials that Yuponhu gave him to Han Jingjing and said, "The materials are here. There are a total of 15 sets. Take a look." That's great. This time, Jingjing can try to refine second-level elixirs." Han Jingjing took the materials from Lin Yi's hand and said, "Brother Lin Yi, you are so good to Jingjing. You always help Jingjing get what she wants. When you become an elixir refiner and help me refine elixirs, I will thank you then," said Lin Yi. Okay. When Jingjing learns it, I will refine elixirs for brother Lin Yi alone." Han Jingjing nodded and said. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's innocent little face. Sometimes, he was really confused. Was this genius girl really sent by God? But when he couldn't solve the problem of alchemy, Han Jingjing appeared. From the perspective of traditional alchemy, Han Jingjing wasn't considered a genius. She had a single fire attribute physique. It could be said that she was trash among the elixir refiners. But when it came to Han Jingjing, this single fire attribute had become her advantage. Although she didn't have the wood attribute to sense the changes in the medicinal herbs in the cauldron, Han Jingjing could use a more scientific and accurate curve function to replace it. This was like the difference between a handicraft workshop and an assembly line. Chapter 2197. However, the craftsmanship of the workers on the assembly line might be much worse than that of the shoemaker, but as long as they knew how to control the assembly line machines and produce shoes according to the prescribed steps, the shoes produced would be exactly the same in terms of quality and specifications. This was the advantage brought by the assembly line. Han Jingjing's current method of alchemy was completely the same as the assembly line of a factory. The pills produced were the same in terms of quality and specifications. And because of the mass production, it was even more time-saving and resource-saving than a manual workshop. "Right, you coiling tiger returned the information to me," Han Jingjing said as she passed the information to Lin Yi. "I'll find time to return it to boss by later." Lin Yi nodded. "Right, I'm planning to leave for a while in a few days. During this time, you should stay at home and practice alchemy. Go to school with Mengyao and Yushu every day." Lin Yi Gij, Jingjing will take care of myself." Han Jingjing didn't ask much about Lin Yi's whereabouts. "Also, the fact that you know how to make pills, especially the fact that you can make multiple pills in one cauldron, don't ever mention it to anyone, not even Boss Bai." Lin Yi reminded, especially Yuponhu, "Don't tell him. One must always be on guard." Although Lin Yi trusted Boss Bai, who could guarantee that Han Jingjing wouldn't be eavesdropped when she spoke. If this matter was spread out, it wouldn't be a good thing for Han Jingjing no matter what. Jingjing won't say anything. Jingjing will listen to Lin Yi Gij. Han Jingjing agreed without thinking. Jingjing. Lin Yi wanted to ask Han Jingjing if she liked alchemy since birth. Why was she so close to him? But this question circled around in Lin Yi's mind. He shook his head and decided not to ask. In any case, Han Jingjing shouldn't have any malicious intent towards him. Otherwise, she wouldn't have told him all her secrets. It should be known that with Han Jingjing's current state of alchemy, even the Heavenly Elixir sect would treat her like an honored guest. However, Han Jingjing didn't hide anything from him. Han Jingjing raised her head, her big, watery eyes looking at Lin Yi, confused. It's fine. Lin Yi shook his head and returned to his senses. Xinyan hadn't returned from her lunch break yet. Bai Weituo and Zhao Xingji weren't there either, probably having lunch with Yimei. As expected, Bai Weituo, Zhao Xingji, and Wang Xinyan walked into the classroom together. Wang Xinyan was usually a lone wolf, but she couldn't reject Bai Weituo's invitation today, probably because of what happened last night. Bai Weituo insisted on dragging me to lunch. I had no choice. I had no other choice. Xinyan said helplessly, shaking her head. "Aw. They think you're my girlfriend." Lin Yi said. "Oh." Xinyan replied and didn't say anything else. She sat back in her seat. "Right, I'll be going out for a couple of days. I'll be gone for half a month at most." Lin Yi needed to tell Xinyan that he was going out. After all, the two of them had gotten closer, and Xinyan was very concerned when Lin Yi left last time. Going out again. Xinyan's heart tightened. She didn't want him to leave, but she didn't know what it was exactly. "And I need to help a friend. We'll go somewhere together." Lin Yi said. "Be careful. I'll take notes for you." Xinyan didn't want him to leave, but she didn't ask him to stay. She knew that Lin Yi wouldn't stay even if she did. "Thanks." Lin Yi smiled. Xinyan nodded and started flipping through her book. Sometimes, Lin Yi felt that his relationship with Xinyan was special. Sometimes it felt like they were really close, but most of the time, it was the kind of friendship between gentlemen that was as thin as water. It was very calm, but very warm. It was as if the two of them were supposed to be like this, sitting together and studying every day. The afternoon passed quickly. Xinyan looked at Lin Yi and asked faintly, "Today? Another night study session?" Lin Yi understood what Xinyan meant. She wanted to create an environment for him. "Not today. I'll be leaving tomorrow. I have something to do tonight." Lin Yi said. "Oh." Xinyan didn't know why, but she was a little disappointed. "Okay. Plus, there are a lot of people in the classroom. I can't carry you." Lin Yi teased. "You're annoying." Xinyan pursed her lips and blushed. I'll be leaving first. Have a safe trip." "Okay." Lin Yi said. Xinyan hugged her book and ran out of the classroom. She didn't dare look back. Her heart was beating fast as she thought about what Lin Yi said. Was Lin Yi flirting with her? This bastard. She was already nice enough to let him go, and he still wanted more. But thinking that Lin Yi was leaving soon, Xinyan didn't want to argue with him. Her relationship with him gave her a headache. He had even accepted one of his cars yesterday. If his family knew about this, who knew what they would think? "Big brother Lin Yi, do you like sister Xinyan?" Han Jingjing put away her tablet and walked out of the classroom with Lin Yi. "A little." Lin Yi didn't deny it. "Oh. Then do you want to go after sister Xinyan?" Han Jingjing nodded. Lin Yi looked into Han Jingjing's eyes. He didn't see any impurities or dissatisfaction. It was still very clear. This made Lin Yi feel that Han Jingjing didn't have any bad feelings for Xinyan. "Why are you asking?" Lin Yi was curious. "I'm afraid that you won't like me after you have sister Xinyan. You won't have time to be with me anymore." Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi worriedly. "Of course not. I still need you to make pills for me." Lin Yi said. "Just concocting pills?" Han Jingjing suddenly felt a little down. What if one day Lin Yi bro becomes even better than Jing Jing at concocting pills? Do I still need Jing Jing? Ugh. Lin Yi paused, so Han Jingjing had known all along that he didn't know how to concoct elixirs, and only told him the truth today. So this girl was just flattering him before. This made Lin Yi a little ashamed. Let's not talk about whether I know how to concoct elixirs or not. Even if I did, I'm not as smart as Jing Jing to invent a scientific concoction method. Chapter 2198. Every recipe has a different refinement curve, how can I learn them all? Lin Yi smiled. Plus, even if you learn it all, we'll still need to study weaponsmithing, and you can keep studying scientific weaponsmithing. To me, Jing Jing is a treasure, and I won't even give her to anyone else. Why are you worrying so much in that little head of yours? Could it be that you're jealous? Han Jingjing paused. What do you mean by jealous? Lin Yi didn't explain. He was sure that Han Jingjing knew, but he pretended that she didn't know. Perhaps Yushu was right. Han Jingjing was a smart person, after all. How could she not know some common sense? Then it's settled, Lin Yi bro. You have to treat Jing Jing like a treasure from now on, don't throw her away, Han Jingjing said. Alright, it's a deal, Lin Yi said. Perhaps Lin Yi and Xinyan's conversation had triggered Han Jingjing, her attitude was a little off today, but the two arrived at the parking lot and Han Jingjing was back to her normal self. That cute, silly look on her face as she got into the car and started fiddling with her tablet without a word. When they got home, Lin Yi told Meng Yao and Yushu about going to Wulanhate with Sun Jingyi, as well as about Qintian coming to protect them. Actually, theoretically speaking, you guys shouldn't be in any danger during this time. I'm only letting Qintian come to watch out for some idiots, Lin Yi said. The hidden houses couldn't do anything rash at the moment. Shield bro, you're leaving again. Yushu was a little sad. Why don't you bring Shu and Yao Yao with you? Wulanhate is a little dangerous. I'm afraid I won't be able to take care of you guys, Lin Yi said honestly. Protecting Sun Jingyi alone is a little hard, I see. Shu sighed. I won't be able to see Shield bro for a while. In the future, at this point, Xiao Shu didn't continue. She couldn't understand what she was talking about. I'll be back soon. I'll bring you something good, Lin Yi said. That's enough, Shu. Lin Yi is going to take care of business. It's not like he won't come back. Meng Yao felt that Yushu was a little down today, as if they'd never see each other again after Lin Yi left. Didn't Lin Yi say that he'll be living with us from now on? Yeah. But... Yushu shook her head. It's nothing, it's time for the cartoon. Let's watch TV, Shu, what's wrong? Lin Yi also felt that something was wrong with Shu. Nothing. Shield bro, Yushu smiled. I just don't want you to get involved with Sun Jingyi. Look, you already have Wang Xinyan and Han Jingjing as a backup. It'll be a mess if you get involved with Sun Jingyi. Lin Yi saw that Yushu wasn't willing to talk about it. He stood up. I'll go check on General Weiwu, the pig, and the purple thunderbolt beast. The purple thunderbolt beast, as the lowest level spirit beast here, naturally lived at the outermost area of the spirit beast shed. Fortunately, it had thick skin and thick flesh. It was almost December, and the temperature in Donghai was quite cold, but the purple thunderbolt beast wouldn't be a problem. Purple thunderbolt beast. Lin Yi called out to the spirit beast shed. The purple thunderbolt beast heard Lin Yi's call and ran out happily. These 2 days, it couldn't wait for Lin Yi to help it level up. The purple thunderbolt beast knew that it wouldn't be possible for Lin Yi to help it level up in just 2 days. Besides, it had heard about Lin Yi's situation from General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig. Lin Yi could indeed help spirit beasts level up, and as Lin Yi's level increased, Lin Yi could level up the spirit beast step by step. For example, when Lin Yi was a mystic class master, he could level up General Weiwu, who was a normal dog, to the peak of the late phase of the Golden Class, and Skybolt Pig to the peak of the late phase of the Golden Class. After Lin Yi became an Earth Class Master, they naturally became Mystic Class late phase peak as well. This situation made the Purple Thunderbolt Beast surprised and overjoyed. If this continued, it wouldn't be a dream for it to become Mystic Class, Earth Class, or even Sky Class. But for it to level up from the Golden Class to the Sky Class by itself, that would be extremely difficult. Not to mention the Sky Class, even if it advanced a little from the peak of the late phase of the Golden Class to the peak of the late phase of the Golden Class, it wouldn't be possible. At first, the Purple Thunderbolt Beast and Lin Yi came here with the purpose of taking advantage of the Spirit Beast, but now it had a completely different idea. When it heard Lin Yi's call, it naturally ran out happily. Roar roar. The Purple Thunderbolt Beast ran to Lin Yi's feet. It was hard to imagine that such a huge spirit beast would be fawning over Lin Yi like a pet. Purple Thunderbolt Beast, although I really want to level you up, I can't guarantee your loyalty to me. Lin Yi knew that the Purple Thunderbolt Beast could understand it, so he didn't beat around the bush and said directly, "You, General Weiwu, and Skybolt Pig are different. They have a good relationship with me, and we've experienced many things together, so I leveled them up. But you, we've only known each other for a short time." Roar. The Purple Thunderbolt Beast looked at Lin Yi with a bitter face. How could it not know that Lin Yi didn't trust it? But in this situation, how could it prove its loyalty to Lin Yi? You should know that I have a lion with me before, but I didn't level it up because it didn't want to be under anyone. If I level it up, it might just leave. Lin Yi said. The Purple Lightning Beast nodded. It knew that Lin Yi was telling the truth. It had heard about the lion, so it looked at Skybolt Pig and General Weiwu with a pitiful look, hoping that they could help it plead for mercy. You don't need to look at them. If you can prove your loyalty, it's not impossible for me to turn you into a spirit beast with the strength of the late phase of the Mystic Class. Lin Yi said, you will be like them very soon, but if you can't prove it, I can't believe you. Chapter 2199. The Purple Lightning Beast's body trembled, and although Lin Yi didn't understand its expression, it was definitely hesitant and troubled, unable to make a decision. Woof woof woof. General Weiwu barked twice as if it was trying to tell the Purple Electric Beast something. The Purple Electric Beast didn't say anything else and fell into silence. It laid down by Lin Yi's feet alone as if it was thinking about something. General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig didn't say anything else and waited quietly for the Purple Electric Beast's answer. Although Lin Yi was confused, he could guess that Skybolt Pig and General Weiwu had already thought of a way to suppress the Purple Electric Beast. However, the Purple Electric Beast couldn't accept this method, so it was hesitating and making a decision. Roar! Finally, the Purple Lightning Beast lifted its proud head and roared at the sky. Then, it turned around to look at Skybolt Pig and General Weiwu and nodded its head slowly. However, after nodding its head, it roared a few more times as if it was trying to add something to the beast's mind. General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig looked at each other, and Skybolt Pig chirped a few times as if he was explaining something to the Purple Lightning Beast. After a while, the Purple Lightning Beast nodded again, and Skybolt Pig ran in front of Lin Yi, using his claw to point at a patch of soft sand not far away. Lin Yi knew that Skybolt Pig was going to write to communicate with him, so he followed him to the patch of soft sand. Skybolt Pig quickly wrote on the soft sand, since ancient times, there have been 3 ways for humans and spiritual beasts to get along. The first way is to share the same thoughts, share the joys and sorrows, and form a natural friendship, just like me and General Weiwu. The second method is to establish a contract and have the spiritual beast become a human slave. The human can order the spiritual beast to do anything, and after the spiritual beast has established the contract, it can't resist and can only follow orders. To put it bluntly, it is equivalent to a puppet with thoughts. The third way is to establish an equal contract. This is similar to the first way, mutual respect. The spiritual beast is the human's best friend and not just a slave. As long as the spiritual beast doesn't betray its master, it has its own consciousness. The Qian Mountain sect established a contract with this method, and it's the best way to establish a contract. The purple electric beast said that it can accept being your contracted spiritual beast, but it must be this type because it's too pitiful to become a slave. Oh, this will do. Lin Yi nodded. Actually, you and General Weiwu are similar to these contracted spiritual beasts. It's just that we're in the same boat, and the purple lightning beast's time is too short. This is the only way to prove its loyalty. The purple lightning beast didn't expect Lin Yi to agree so easily. It was a little surprised. Originally, it thought that Lin Yi would definitely take the opportunity to blackmail it into becoming a slave contracted spiritual beast, but it was very unwilling to do so. Although it wanted to level up, what was the point if it lost its sense of self after leveling up? It chose the last option because it had the thought of leaving if Lin Yi didn't agree. That was why it roared at the sky and made its decision. How would it know that Lin Yi was so easy to talk to? If it knew this would happen, it would have established a contract with Lin Yi a long time ago. This type of contract didn't affect it at all. When Lin Yi was around, it would follow Lin Yi. If Lin Yi died, it would regain its freedom and wouldn't be affected. It had lived for thousands of years, met many people, but it was the first time it met someone like Lin Yi. That was why it didn't lose anything by following Lin Yi. As long as Lin Yi continued to level up, its strength would also increase. Where else could it find such a good contracted master? So when it heard Lin Yi's agreement, the purple electric beast nodded happily. Roar roar, it was even a little eager. How do I establish the contract? Lin Yi asked. Skybolt Pig wrote on the ground again, you don't have to do anything. The purple electric beast will make a heaven and earth oath, then drip a drop of blood on its forehead. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. Although Lin Yi didn't know what a heaven and earth oath was, he didn't know if it had any binding force. However, looking at Skybolt Pig's expression, it was probably very effective. So, he bit his finger. At this moment, the purple electric beast was also muttering something that Lin Yi couldn't understand. It seemed like this type of contract was built on the basis of equality. Only when the spirit beast was willing could it be used. Otherwise, he couldn't possibly force the spirit beast to make a heaven and earth oath, right? As for that kind of slave contract, although Lin Yi didn't know how to operate it, it should be the forceful kind. He would have to ask Skybolt Pig when he had the chance. It was impossible for Lin Yi to use such a gentle method to deal with every spirit beast he encountered. After a while, the purple electric beast stopped roaring, but Skybolt Pig started squeaking, indicating that Lin Yi could drip his blood. So, Lin Yi quickly dripped the blood on his finger on the purple electric beast's forehead. What surprised Lin Yi was that the blood on his fingers seemed to turn into a light beam and directly entered the purple electric beast's body. There was no trace of blood on its forehead. This situation made Lin Yi click his tongue in wonder. It seemed like there were many things in the world that he didn't know or understand. That's it. Lin Yi didn't feel that there was anything special about establishing a contract with the purple electric beast. Squeak squeak. Skybolt Pig nodded, indicating that it was fine. Alright, Feng, I'll raise your strength to the peak of the late phase mystic class later. You stay in the villa and protect Meng Yao and Yushu with General Weiwu, understand? When I'm not here, don't let any harm come to them. Lin Yi said, also, you have to protect Han Jingjing and her brother next door. Roar roar. The purple electric beast nodded, indicating that it understood. Since Skybolt Pig said that there was no problem, Lin Yi didn't doubt it. He directly sat cross-legged on the ground and placed his hand on the purple electric beast's body, activating the second stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery. Pure energy flowed from the space in the jade through Lin Yi's body into the purple electric beast's body. Roar dash, the purple electric beast roared in pleasure and then quickly absorbed the energy that Lin Yi transferred over. Chapter 2200. At this moment, the purple lightning beast was quite gratified. Following Lin Yi was a wise choice. Lin Yi didn't lie to it. It leveled up in just a short while. It had never heard of such a situation before. It had never heard of a person being able to continuously transfer chi to a spirit beast in such a short period of time. It was unbelievable. But the truth was right in front of its eyes. Golden Class Late Phase Peak. Soon, it was close to full cycle. The purple lightning beast let out a joyful roar. It leveled up. The barrier that had suppressed it for the past 1,000 years had actually been broken at this moment. Mystic Class Early Phase, it was already a Mystic Class Spirit Beast. And this was just the beginning. Lin Yi didn't stop and continued to transfer chi to it. Mystic Class Early Phase Peak, Mid-Phase Peak, all the way to Mystic Class Late Phase Peak. The purple lightning beast couldn't believe what was happening in front of it. It even felt like it was dreaming. Was there such a way to level up in this world? It had never heard of anyone being able to go from Golden Class Late Phase Peak all the way to Mystic Class Late Phase in such a short period of time. No, it was already Mystic Class Late Phase Peak. Lin Yi's energy transfer stopped abruptly. Lin Yi let go of his hand, but he didn't seem tired at all. He was still in high spirits, as if the chi transfer didn't affect Lin Yi at all. The purple lightning beast's eyes widened in shock as it stared at Lin Yi, who was perfectly fine. Is this real? I'm a Mystic Class Late Phase Peak Spirit Beast now. From now on, you're number 4. Little 3 is the lion, but it ran away. Lin Yi said to the purple lightning beast. Your boss is General Weiwu, and Skybolt Pig is your second Shixiang. You don't have to care about that lion for now. You're the youngest. Roar roar. The purple electric wind thunder beast nodded cheerfully. Although it was a spirit beast with an offensive attribute and was the most powerful one compared to General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig, it knew that it was the last one to arrive, so it didn't object to being called Old Fourth. Here's a small chi gathering pill. Eat it and you'll be able to level up to Earth class. Then, you'll be able to deal with higher level enemies. Lin Yi took out a small chi gathering pill from his pocket and gave it to the purple lightning beast. The purple lightning beast had never eaten a human's medicinal pill before, but since it was something Lin Yi gave it, it swallowed it in one gulp. However, the purple electric tempest beast that had swallowed the little chi gathering pill did not show signs of a breakthrough like Han Jingjing. Instead, it behaved the same as usual. Lin Yi waited for a long time and didn't see any abnormalities. He couldn't help but ask, "Do you feel anything special?" The purple lightning beast was quite puzzled. Logically, Lin Yi wouldn't lie to it. He had already helped it level up a few times. It was already at Mystic Late Phase Peak, so it believed that Lin Yi could help it level up. But the reality was that after it ate the small chi gathering pill, other than a weak energy replenishment, it didn't feel anything special. Roar roar. The purple lightning beast told Skybolt Pig about its situation. And Skybolt Pig wrote down the purple lightning beast's situation to Lin Yi. Strange, no breakthrough. Lin Yi frowned, but then he thought of an important situation. Could it be that spirit beasts were different from humans? Cultivators could use the small chi gathering pill to break through, but spirit beasts couldn't. The small chi-gathering pill that contained a lot of energy wasn't very useful to the purple lightning beast. Was it because it needed more energy than cultivators, or was it because of their different physiques? The energy that Lin Yi sent to it came from the jade space. Lin Yi didn't calculate the exact amount. But now it seemed that the latter was more likely. Spirit beasts shouldn't be able to increase their strength through medicinal pills. Thinking about it, if spirit beasts could use medicinal pills, then the spirit beasts of the Qianshan sect would have a qualitative leap. They just needed to give some medicinal pills to the spirit beasts, and even Wu Jindao's spirit wolf would be able to level up to Earth class. Why would it still be at the golden class? And as the sect's guardian spirit beast, the purple lightning beast wouldn't be stuck at the peak of the golden class late phase. Lin Yi shook his head. It seemed that he was too simple-minded. Spirit beasts couldn't use human practitioners' medicinal pills. It was a waste of a small chi-gathering pill. Although Lin Yi got it for free, it still hurt him a lot. He could only give the remaining one to Wu Qintian. If there was one more, he could give it to Lingshan or Faubert. Seems like medicinal pills don't have much effect on you, Lin Yi said. If you want to level up, wait until I break through to Sky class. Roar roar. The purple lightning beast wasn't too disappointed. It was satisfied with its current strength. Waiting for Lin Yi to become Sky class wasn't an impossible dream. After dealing with the beast, Lin Yi turned around and went back to the villa. Only then did he realize that the sun was already rising from the east. He didn't realize that he'd wasted an entire night here. It seemed like the beast had absorbed a lot of pure qi. When he returned to the living room, Lin Yi saw Qintian sitting on the sofa with his eyes closed. He heard footsteps and opened his eyes, surprised to see Lin Yi. Boss, you're back. Qintian had arrived a long time ago, but Meng Yao told him that Lin Yi was in the backyard doing research on spirit beasts, so he didn't disturb him. He just sat there and waited. And, you're fast. Lin Yi threw the last small chi-gathering pill to Qintian. Take this, it'll increase your spiritual strength to Earth class early phase. I'm going on a long trip with Dreamy, so I'll need you to be her bodyguard for a while. Bodyguard, no problem. I'm familiar with the job. Qintian didn't mind. His attention was on the small chi-gathering pill. Boss, is this the legendary small chi-gathering pill? House, you treated this like a treasure back then. And, it's a treasure in the common house. It's rare in the hidden house, but it's not much of a treasure. Lin Yi said, take it, I'll protect you. Okay. Qintian swallowed the pill without hesitation, closing his eyes and channeling his practitioner's arts to dissolve the pill's effects. Chapter 2201. Qintian, on the other hand, looked like he was in pain, but if even Han Jingjing could endure it, Qintian, a physical practitioner, naturally could. But from Lin Yi's point of view, Qintian's pain was much worse than Han Jingjing's. It was similar to when Han Xiaopa took the pill. Perhaps it was because they were both real practitioners, and Han Jingjing's practitioner's arts were just as support arts for the refiner, so it wasn't that hard to level up. Half an hour later, Qintian let out a long breath, a relaxed expression on his face. He was very happy inside, and if he wasn't afraid of waking up Meng Yao and Yushu upstairs, he would have laughed out loud. That's amazing. Qintian sighed. Boss, to be honest, I've never thought that I'd become an Earth class one day. Really, in the common world, a mystic is already a very powerful existence, but I'm actually an Earth class now. What, are you satisfied with Earth class? Lin Yi smiled. If it were before, of course I'd be satisfied, let alone Earth class. Even Mystic class would be enough, Qintian said. But now, after following you, boss, I know that there's always someone better than me, and my goal has become bigger and bigger. My ultimate goal is Sky Class. I want to become a Sky Class. Not bad, you're a little ambitious now, Lin Yi said. Don't worry, breaking through to Sky Class won't be a dream. If Han Jingjing became a third-level refiner, she would be able to make chi-gathering pills, and if he could become a Sky Class, he would be able to raise Qintian to Earth Class late-phase peak, and with a chi-gathering pill, he would be able to step into Sky Class as well. So, Qintian becoming a Sky Class wasn't a dream at all. Boss, I heard from Jingyi that you're going to a very dangerous place. Qintian asked. Yes, Wulongheot mountain range, I heard it's dangerous. Lin Yi didn't hide anything. But it's about Jingyi's identity. I've already promised her, so I'll go with her. Man, that's the difference between us, boss. I'm not afraid of death, but if it were me, I'd tell Sun Jingyi not to take the risk, but you're different, boss. No wonder Jingyi chose you. Qintian said. Are you praising me or saying that I'm reckless? Lin Yi laughed. Of course it's a compliment. Wealth comes from danger. Dangerous places also mean opportunities. This is an unchanging truth. However, I lack this adventurous spirit. Qintian said, so, I'll just stay here as a follower, boss leading me forward is enough. I also have a few bottles of body-strengthening potions from the Hidden House Pai. They train their fists, and you train your iron fist, so there should be some similarities. These potions should be good for your physical training, Lin Yi said. Ah. It can't be. There's a potion from the Hidden House Pai. Qintian's eyes widened as he looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. It wasn't that he hadn't heard of this potion before, but he'd heard of it so many times that his ears were getting calluses. The potions from the Hidden House Pai were famous, and it was said that they had something to do with the ancient sect Holy Fist Palace. Elder Wu Gonggao, had tried to get a bottle of this potion from the Hidden House Pai for Qintian to train his iron fist arts, but the Hidden House Pai didn't care at all. They wouldn't sell it no matter how much they offered, and Gonggao had no choice. Don't be fooled by the fact that they were a normal family in the common world. But when it came to the level of the hidden families, they were nothing. So Gonggao had told his disciples many times that if they knew of the existence of the potion, they had to get it back no matter what the price was. It would be a huge improvement to House Wu's iron fist arts. Not only would their training speed increase, but their strength and the strength of their palms would increase as well. It had been a long time since anyone mentioned it, and Qintian had almost forgotten about the existence of this potion. But now that Lin Yi mentioned it, he suddenly remembered. Yes, and it's not just one, there's quite a few, Lin Yi said, I'll give it to you later. There's quite a few. Qintian was even more shocked, boss, House Pai usually doesn't sell this potion. It's hard to get even one bottle, and you have quite a few. What's so strange about that? We even got the small chi-gathering pill from the Hidden House U, we don't need the potions from the Hidden House Pai, Lin Yi said. Is this useful to you? Not just useful, it's very useful. Qintian nodded and said solemnly, with this elixir, my physical training speed will increase more than twofold, and my strength and iron palms will increase as well. Oh, use it then, I'll give you more if it's not enough, Lin Yi said. Wah! Qintian's jaw dropped when he heard Lin Yi's words. It was already a great fortune for him to be able to get these few bottles, how could he ask for more if it wasn't enough? The Hidden House Pai had quite a lot of these potions, but they wouldn't just give them away for free, would they? Oh, I forgot to tell you, Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai from the Hidden House Pai are my followers, but they're currently under observation. Once they pass, they'll be your followers too, Lin Yi said. Pfft. Cough, cough. Qintian almost choked after hearing Lin Yi's words. What? Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai are my followers? They're their boss, so naturally they'll be ranked lower than you. Just like you, Gooden, Kong, and Fatty Lai, you're their follower, Lin Yi said. My God, the two heirs of the hidden house Bai. They're my underlings. Chen Tian never thought that he'd be this strong one day. Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai were Lin Yi's followers. Then it was only right for him to call Chen Tian bro, and they were still under observation. Whether or not they'd be recognized by Lin Yi would depend on their performance. This was something Chen Tian didn't even dare to think about before. If it were before, he'd be very respectful when he saw Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai, but now he had to be polite. It was simple, he was now Lin Yi's official follower, and in front of Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai, he was a senior. He couldn't embarrass Lin Yi. Chapter 2202. Chen Tian decided that he would give his grandpa a call when he had the time. He asked, "Right, can you give my grandpa a bottle of this elixir? Although he's a bit of a snob, he's still very nice to me." "Sure, you can decide what I give you," Lin Yi said. "Thank you, boss." Chen Tian breathed a sigh of relief when he saw that Lin Yi didn't hold a grudge against his grandpa. "Actually, I don't blame your grandpa. It's not wrong for him to protect himself. He's just a small common house, it's normal that he can't fight against a hidden house." Lin Yi waved his hand, "Don't worry about it too much. You're my follower, I'll take care of your family. Boss, you're the best." Chen Tian was so touched he didn't know what to say. "Right, I'll give you Pai Jishan's phone number. If you run into any trouble you can't solve, you can call him for help," Lin Yi said as he sent Pai Jishan's number to Chen Tian. "Okay," Chen Tian nodded. "Rest for a bit, I've arranged everything here." "I'll leave tomorrow morning," Lin Yi said as he stood up. He needed to pack his things. In the morning, Lin Yi called Bai Weitua and asked him to ask Boss Bai for leave. Chen Tian became the Miss Temporary Driver and Bodyguard again, but his car was Han Jingjing's BMW X5M. After sending off the Miss, Shu, Han Jingjing, and Han Xiaoqiao, Lin Yi drove the Jeep to the hotel with Skybolt Pig. The reason why he brought Skybolt Pig was because it was very smart and had the ability to find treasures. It was also very sensitive to maps. It was the best choice when going out. There was no point in keeping it at home, but the Purple Thunderbolt Beast and General Weiwu could protect the Miss and Shu. Lin Yi always brought a spiritual beast with him just in case his meridians were damaged beyond repair, just like the time at the Ice Palace. Lin Yi called Sun Jingyi downstairs, and not long after, Sun Jingyi walked out of the hotel with a backpack. Only this much luggage. Lin Yi was surprised to see Sun Jingyi packed so lightly. Lin Yi had already opened the trunk for her, only to realize that she didn't even need to put her backpack in the trunk. "Then how much?" Sun Jingyi smiled, "It's not like we're going on a vacation, why bring so many things? There's only a few undergarments and daily necessities. I didn't bring anything else." Lin Yi nodded. He had fewer things than Sun Jingyi. This was what an adventurer should do. He and Sun Jingyi were going to Wulonghout Mountains to explore, not to play. The more things they brought, the more burdensome it would be. "Have you had breakfast?" "If you have, we'll leave now," Lin Yi said. "Yes, let's go." Sun Jingyi couldn't wait anymore. The map her parents left behind must have some important secrets. She wanted to see it as soon as possible. Lin Yi started the car and drove towards Wulonghout Mountains according to the directions on the GPS. This time, Lin Yi's goal was clear, and Lin Yi's driving skills were outstanding. He maintained a speed of more than 200 miles per hour, making Sun Jingyi feel like she was on a plane. "Why are you driving so fast?" Sun Jingyi found that Lin Yi had his eyes closed when he was driving, which made her surprised and horrified. She said, You don't look at the road." "I'm looking." Lin Yi was actually cultivating, but he was cultivating in the space of the jade pendant. His perception of the outside world was stronger than Lin Yi's observation of the road information with the naked eye. Lin Yi looked with the naked eye. Even if he was a cultivator, he could only see a few hundred meters away. However, in the space of the jade pendant, the perception of the spiritual awareness could perceive further, and it was clearer and more detailed. Then why are you closing your eyes? Sun Jingyi found that Lin Yi had overtaken 3 or 4 cars with his eyes closed, and she was even more surprised. I'm cultivating. Lin Yi said, well, if you're tired, you can sleep for a while. Okay. I hope you don't crash, Great Bandit. Sun Jingyi was speechless about Lin Yi's driving skills. Isn't this too superb? Great Bandit. If I don't have any ability, how can I make you fall in love with me? Lin Yi smiled. After listening to Lin Yi's words, Sun Jingyi really closed her eyes and fell asleep soon. Because Lin Yi's speed was too stable, although he didn't use the constant speed cruise, the speed was smoother than the constant speed cruise, which made Sun Jingyi feel drowsy. Moreover, watching Lin Yi driving was too thrilling. If you didn't look, you wouldn't feel anything. It looked really dangerous. When Sun Jingyi woke up, she found that the sky was already dark. She didn't expect that she could sleep so well. She actually slept for a whole day. However, she had crammed the knowledge of the Woolenhate mountain range in the hotel last night. She almost didn't sleep all night, so it wasn't a big surprise that she slept for a whole day. Where are we? Sun Jingyi opened her eyes and asked as she looked at the darkness outside the window. I don't know. Lin Yi said, but there are still more than 2,000 kilometers to go. Lin Yi took the shortest route. There were national highways and highways. Some of them were still passing through small mountain villages. But now, Lin Yi only had more than 2,000 kilometers left to reach the vicinity of the Woolenhate mountain range. So fast. Sun Jingyi was a little surprised. Originally, in her opinion, if the two of them drove, it would take at least 3 or 4 days, but she didn't expect Lin Yi's speed to be so fast. Moreover, he was traveling day and night. It's okay. Lin Yi said, when we passed a few villages on the way, the road was not good, so we slowed down. Otherwise, we should be faster. Are you sleepy? Do you want me to drive for a while? Sun Jingyi had rested well, and now she was in high spirits. I'm not sleepy. In fact, I have been resting and replenishing my physical strength through cultivation, said Lin Yi. Gosh, are you serious? You are driving in the dark with your eyes closed. Sun Jingyi was shocked. Hee. Lin Yi closed his eyes. The night was like day. It was clearer than when he opened his eyes. Are you hungry? I'm fine. What about you? I have biscuits, milk, and chocolate in my backpack. They are all high-calorie foods. Do you want to eat some? Asked Sun Jingyi. Chapter 2203. Then I won't stand on ceremony. I'm really a little hungry. Sun Jingyi turned around and took her backpack. She took out a carton of milk and a box of biscuits and wolfed them down. In front of Lin Yi, she didn't pretend to be gentle. They were already very familiar. Sun Jingyi didn't need to pretend in front of Lin Yi. After eating a few mouthfuls, Sun Jingyi asked Lin Yi, you really don't want to eat? I really don't want to eat. Lin Yi said, I can replenish my physical strength during cultivation. Okay, then I'll eat it myself. Sun Jingyi nodded and said. Half an hour later, Lin Yi drove out of the national highway and came to a small town. He passed by a gas station. Lin Yi filled up the gas tank and filled the auxiliary tank in the trunk. Then, he drove to the door of a 24-hour porridge shop and said, "Do you want to go in and sit down?" "Okay." Sun Jingyi ate a few biscuits, but it didn't help much. She slept for a day and was hungry for a day. She wasn't like Lin Yi, who didn't eat or drink and could only replenish his physical strength through cultivation. The two of them came to the porridge shop together. In the porridge shop, there were a few tables of customers, but there weren't many people. Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi ordered 2 trays of soup dumplings, a bucket of century egg and lean meat porridge, and a few side dishes. The cost here wasn't high. They spent less than 100 yuan in total, but the two of them ate well. After eating, Lin Yi continued to drive. There was a glimmer of dawn on the horizon. It was the next day. There are about 1,000 kilometers left. Lin Yi looked at the prompt on the car's navigation and said to Sun Jingyi, "The people here are getting fewer and fewer." Sun Jingyi looked out the window and sighed. "Why would my parents leave a map of this place? Who knows? We'll only know when we get there," Lin Yi said. When it was almost noon, Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi arrived at the last town on the border. After leaving this town, they would be in another country, and most of the Wulongheot mountain range was outside the border. At the border, there should be border guards responsible for patrolling and guarding, so Lin Yi didn't drive to the border rashly. Instead, he parked the car in front of a hotel that integrated restaurants and accommodation in this town. He was going to eat something here first and inquire about the situation here while eating. The words "Dragon Gate Inn" were written in a flamboyant style. The style of the entire inn was similar to the inn that Lin Yi stayed in Icy Snow Town. It had the same decoration style, the same quaint style, and the same naming method. However, there were obviously not many cars at the entrance of the inn. Other than Lin Yi driving a Grand Cherokee, the rest were 2 ordinary vans. One had a local license plate, and the other had no license plate at all. It seemed to be an abandoned car that had not been driven for a long time. In short, the feeling that this place gave people was quiet and quaint. However, after Lin Yi parked the car, he didn't attract much attention. It seemed that visitors like Lin Yi were common to them. When Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi got off the car, a person dressed like a local followed them and asked, "Are you 2 adventurers from the Tagan family who are going to Realita town?" "Oh. How do you know?" Lin Yi asked faintly, his expression unchanged. Realita town was the last town in the Wulongheot mountain range. However, this town wasn't in the country, but outside the border. According to the information that Sun Jingyi found, Realita town was actually a town without a government. The actual controller of Realita town wasn't one person, but a few big families in the town. This Tagan family was one of the actual controllers of Realita town. The public security of this town was very chaotic, or rather, there was no public security at all. It was a paradise for criminals and adventurers. Many international fugitives would flee to this town to escape the punishment of the law. In fact, the land where this town was located should belong to another small country nearby. However, this place was originally the foothold of a very large sect. The sect's power was so great that the small country didn't have the intention to reclaim this mountain range. Later, this sect declined and disappeared overnight. However, some fierce bandits took the opportunity to occupy this place. Over time, many forces of various sizes were formed. There were families and gangs, so many adventurers and criminals sought refuge there. Of course, there wasn't much information on how chaotic Realita town was on the internet. After all, it was a town outside the border. It didn't have much to do with the majority of the people in the country, so there was only some scattered information. This was also the reason why Lin Yi parked the car near Realita town. It was the last town within the border to inquire about the information. Although this town and Realita town were separated by the border, they were still quite far away. Therefore, the people here would definitely be more familiar with the situation there. Hey, this is a small town at the border, not some tourist attraction. The people who come here are either criminals seeking refuge in Realita town or adventurers who want to get a high bounty. The local analyzed proudly, the two of you drove here in such an ostentatious manner. Your car also has an official license plate, so I can guess that you aren't criminals. Then, you should be adventurers. Hee hee. Lin Yi didn't deny it. The local didn't seem to want to give up on talking to Lin Yi. He continued, I'm a local expert. I know everything about this place. Are the two of you cultivators? Lin Yi's eyes narrowed slightly. He didn't expect this person to know that he was a cultivator. This surprised Lin Yi. Although there were many cultivators in Lin Yi's circle, for ordinary people, many of them were existences that they would never come into contact with in their lifetime. He didn't expect this local expert to know about the existence of cultivators. How did you know? Lin Yi asked. Hee hee, 9 out of 10 of the adventurers who go to Realita town are cultivators. If they aren't cultivators, it's hard for those families and gangs to entrust them with important tasks. They can only be small fries. The local expert said, but if it's a cultivator, even if he's in the early phase of the golden class, he'll be treated with great respect as a VIP. He'll be entrusted with important tasks like hunting spirit beasts or gathering herbs in the Wulonghout Mountains. Oh. Then can't we be ordinary people? Lin Yi didn't answer the local expert's question directly. Chapter 2204. Oh. What happened these days? Lin Yi asked without batting an eyelid. These days, the Tagan family publicly recruited adventurers to enter the Wulonghout mountain range to capture a fire lion cub as the contracted spiritual beast of the heir of the Tagan family, young Master Tagonlong. Tu Tong Tong said, I think the two of you must be going for this. Actually, you don't have to hide it. To be honest, there were also 2 practitioners who successfully left the border under my escort and went to Realita town. They are also going for the Tagan family's reward. Is that so? It seems like you are indeed called Tu Tong Tong. Lin Yi said indifferently, you know about these things. Of course. Tu Tong Tong said, may I know what the strength of the 2 practitioners are? I'm in the middle phase of the golden class, my wife hasn't stepped into the golden class yet. Lin Yi didn't reveal his strength. After all, he was unfamiliar with this place, and it was necessary to be vigilant. Middle phase of the golden class. Tu Tong Tong was a little surprised after hearing it, damn, so powerful. Just how old are you? You actually have the same level of cultivation as young Master Tagonlong. The previous practitioner was in his 40s and was only in the early phase of the golden class. Tu Tong Tong automatically filtered out Sun Jingyi's strength. From his point of view, Lin Yi's strength alone was enough to meet the requirements of the Tagan family. The lowest requirement of the Tagan family this time was to be in the early phase of the golden class. After all, no matter how powerful a fire lion cub was, it couldn't escape under the siege of so many people. Early phase of the golden class was enough. Is there a problem? Lin Yi asked. No. No. After Tu Tong Tong heard about Lin Yi's strength, he naturally had some respect for Lin Yi. The way he looked at Lin Yi was also different. Big brother, I know you are very powerful and a practitioner, but your wife hasn't stepped into the golden class yet. If you want to cross the border, I'm afraid it's impossible without my arrangements. I'm not called Tu Tong Tong for nothing. Okay, you can send us out of the country. Lin Yi said, how much do you want? No, not much. 10,000 yuan per person is enough. If it's 2 people, I can give you a discount. The local expert didn't dare to ask too high a price. He also knew that these cultivators weren't easy to deal with. Although these people might be rich, it was absolutely impossible to cheat them. Lin Yi waved his hand and said calmly, "There's no need for a discount. 20,000 it is. Use the remaining money to introduce me to Ryilida Town and the Wulongheot mountain range for the mission." Of course, no problem. After all, even if Lin Yi received the news and came to help the Tagan clan, he would certainly not be very familiar with Ryilida Town and the Wulongheot mountain range. It was normal for him to introduce them. "We're going to the inn to eat something. You should join us," Lin Yi said. "Okay." The local expert quickly agreed. Originally, the Dragon Gate Inn's private room wasn't easily opened. After all, there were only 3 of Lin Yi and the others. It was enough to sit in the hall and eat. However, with the local expert around, the boss gave face and opened a private room for them. It seemed that the local expert was indeed a local expert. It was very useful in the local area. "It's convenient to talk here." The local expert smiled. "I often bring people here to eat, so I'm familiar with the boss. And, tell me about the situation." Lin Yi wasn't very concerned about the power of the local expert. After all, he only needed to smoothly cross the border with the help of the local expert. As for other things, Lin Yi naturally wasn't interested in caring. In Ryilida Town, there are 3 big families and 2 big gangs. One of the families is the Tagan clan. The other 2 families are the Lu clan and the Shengguang clan. In these 3 families, there are different numbers of cultivators. They are families that focus on cultivation, said the local expert. Cultivator clans. Lin Yi was a little surprised. He didn't expect that there were cultivator clans outside the border. However, after thinking about it, it wasn't impossible. Usually, these cultivator clans were hidden. For example, they hid in a small place like Ryilida Town. Under normal circumstances, if one didn't come here intentionally, it would be really difficult to come into contact with them. We also have cultivator clans here. Are you all individual cultivators? Yes, only individual cultivators would participate in the Tagan clan's mission. Those sects and families wouldn't have the time to come to this place. Local Tong shook his head and said, there are also 2 big gangs. One is the Fire Wolf Gang, and the other is the Red Conch Gang. These 2 gangs control the sex industry and entertainment industry in Ryilida Town, and the other controls the drug trade, Fire Wolf Gang and Red Conches. Lin Yi was stunned. He didn't expect that there was a Fire Wolf Gang outside the border. However, what surprised Lin Yi was that these 2 gangs should actually be one gang. According to the conversation with the drug dealer during the military training, Lin Yi could determine that the Fire Wolf Gang and the Red Conches were inextricably linked. Yes, we also have the Fire Wolf Gang here. They developed from here. That Red Conches is originally a drug trade group outside the border, said the local expert. These 2 gangs have a good relationship, asked Lin Yi. How is that possible? The local expert said, as the saying goes, a mountain can't accommodate 2 tigers. This is the principle. There isn't much conflict of interest between these 2 gangs, so there isn't much conflict. However, there are constant small frictions. The Fire Wolf Gang has a good relationship with the Lu clan, while the Red Conches have a good relationship with the Tagan clan. These 2 families usually don't get along. Oh. Lin Yi was very surprised, but he didn't show it on his face. He didn't expect that the Fire Wolf Gang and the Red Conches would appear to be enemies in front of outsiders. These 2 gangs were really smart. If the 2 gangs relied on each other, it might be difficult for them to gain a foothold in Ryilida Town. However, the 2 gangs had a relationship in private. On the surface, it seemed that each gang was on good terms with the family. No one could see anything wrong with it. However, this doesn't have much to do with your mission. I think the two of you won't bother with these trivial matters. From the local expert's point of view, these cultivators came with a purpose. As for the trivial matters, they wouldn't bother with them. Right, we only heard from a friend that the Tagan clan has a mission with generous rewards. However, I don't know the specifics. Can you tell us? Asked Lin E. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.